It's another matchup that features one of the top teams in the state going up a team that has opened up with one of its best starts ever. Welcome to the pregame show between the Ponca Indians and the Vermillion Tanagers. Well, it's going to be a great matchup when you look at two teams with a combined record of 13-0 overall. The Ponca Indians taking on Vermillion Tanagers, and what a fun run it has been for Vermillion. And for Ponca, once again this year, they came in with a lot of talent that they have been developing over the years, and it's really to that point now we're starting to see some of the key players that, if you have followed along in this matchup that has now been going on for its fourth straight year, some of these names are very, very familiar. In fact, let's start right there in this matchup between the Ponca Indians and the Vermillion Tanagers. It seems like it always favors the way of the Indians. They're close games for sure, but John Brooks has never been quite on the right side of this matchup. And for the Ponca Indians, they were getting ready for one of their biggest matchups of the season this past Tuesday against a ranked Crofton team, but was not able to get that game in due to, of course, the weather. And now they're looking to kind of shake off the rust, if you will, after they haven't played since the Christmas break when they were in a winter tournament where the Ponca Indians at that time went 8-0. And looking at the Indians so far, something that does kind of find interest to this is 8-0. It's an impressive start, but it comes with a slight asterisk because when you look at, first off, Nebraska, they begin a couple weeks sooner than the state of South Dakota when they start playing their games. But then even going off of that, sometimes finding the competition isn't always the best. You play a lot of teams that are just in your area, and you make it possible that way. It's not as structured when it comes to the talent into the regions like it is in the state of South Dakota. So ultimately, when you look at what Ponca has done so far this season, they've only played two teams so far that have had a winning record. So, I mean, and we're talking just barely above 500. They have not played any ranked team, any outstanding team. Again, that Crofton game was really going to be a test for the Ponca Indians, so it will be interesting just to see how good the Ponca Indians truly are. Vermillion Tanagers, it is back-to-back upsets over the number 4 seed on Monday after the Vermillion girls got that huge win against the T-Area Titans. We knew the Titans were receiving votes, but we didn't know exactly. Well, at least some of us didn't know. I knew at that point when Vermillion had beaten the Titans, not only was it an upset, but it was back-to-back games. They had taken down the 4 seed, and what's so interesting about that is how Vermillion did it. Yes, the Titans were missing Vasika, but Vermillion looked very, very comfortable in that game. Brooke Jensen had another phenomenal performance, and Vermillion just seems to be clicking on all cylinders. Now, they want to keep that going as they go across the border into the state of Nebraska and get ready for our next busy, 24 hours. The Indians tonight, and then take on receiving votes Parkston coming up tomorrow. And Brooke Jensen's success has been very exciting to watch, averaging 25 points a ball game, but after the past couple of games, Vermillion girls that usually average double figures have found themselves below that mark. And when we saw their biggest wins to open up this season, it was everyone spreading out the points. Vermillion has not gotten above the 62 mark in total points. Tonight, if they could hit 62 again, they would certainly win. But they need to know they have to get other girls going when it comes to putting up numbers, including players coming off the bench of Chandler Cleveland. She had a phenomenal performance the other afternoon against the Titans, but also look for Casey Hansen, Leah Herbster, and Brooklyn Voss to get going tonight against the Ponca Indians. One other thing to mention before we get into our first break. You look back to what Vermillion has done in their 2 upsets over West Central and against the T-Area Titans. Something that was very familiar with those 2 teams was the size. They were built more for speed and trying to take advantage of the quickness that Vermillion is able to counterattack with. But tonight, the Ponca Indians come in with a little bit something different. No shot clock in the state of Nebraska. They're going to take their time, and they're going to beat you underneath with the size that the Indians have. So tonight, it's not all about speed, but all about size. Look forward to it. Again, the Ponca Indians ranked inside the top 5. In fact, in C2, they currently sit at 4th. That's down 1 spot from where they were last week at number 3. But again, overall coming in at 8-0, going up against receiving votes, the Vermillion Tanagers, who are 5-0 on the season. It's time for our first time out, and when we come back, we'll get into our coaches' interviews with the longtime head coach Bob Hayes of the Ponca Indians, talking about his team's success that just continues to carry over from year in and year out, plus how they get ready for a very tough opponent for the Vermillion Tanagers. After that, we'll catch up with head coach John Brooks and talk more about that beautiful victory on Monday afternoon and how they get ready not only for the Ponca Indians tonight, but get ready for a very brutal next couple of weeks. That's all on the way here on Live Ticket TV. Advertising can be a struggle. Where to spend your money? Are you reaching the right audience? If you are looking for an effective method that reaches a large fan base at once, then here is your spot with Live Ticket TV. With over 65 schools in the state of South Dakota, we can help you find the right market. Plus, you can work with me, Heath, and a portion of all sales made go right back to the school. Get a hold of me today and let's get started in helping build your brand with Live Ticket TV.
At Northern State University, your future starts with an affordable education that's personalized for you. Experience hands-on learning guided by world-class supportive faculty. You'll also enjoy a full campus life with opportunities to choose from numerous student activities and events, all in a safe, welcoming community. At Northern, you'll find a college that's right for you, a place to belong. Your future starts here. Unleash your potential at Northern.
There's no better organization that gives back to the student athletes than the Booster Club. The Vermillion Booster Club is committed to helping all student athletes grow. Join the Tanager faithful today by becoming a member at GoTanagers.com. While you're there, check out team apparel for your favorite sports team. Like them on Facebook to stay up to date on all the latest information and sports games. Join the Vermillion Boosters today and go Tanagers!
Agriculture is like no other business, which makes Farm Credit Services of America like no other lender. Owned by the farmers and ranchers we serve, our customers have a voice in how we work, a stake in what we do, and share in our success. Discover a lender that works for you at Farm Credit Services of America.
Hi, this is Kristen Cunningham with Chic Boutique by Kristen & Company in Centerville, South Dakota. We're an all-size inclusive boutique offering sizes small through 3X on many items, including denim jeans and jackets, shackets, pants, skirts, graphic tees and sweatshirts, joggers, school swag, hats and caps, many fashion accessories including purses and lots of jewelry. And we also offer gift items for birthdays and weddings. Get your shopping fix at 636 Broadway Street, Centerville, South Dakota. Open Tuesday through Friday, 10 to 7, and Saturday, 10 to 4.
Coaches interviews coming up on the way with head coach John Brooks of the Vermillion Tanagers, along with head coach Bob Hayes of the Ponca Indians. Just caught up with Coach Hayes just a little bit ago as he was out reffing some JV games. As you see it kind of flash across your screen right now, we're seeing some little bit of boys basketball action currently on the court. Of course, with the snowstorms and everything that has just been going on, a lot of makeup games currently in the process. That's what's happening, and that's currently what we're seeing on the court right now as Ponca Indians, the boys' side, are taking on Lawton Bronson from the state of Iowa. What has been kind of a slow-moving first couple of quarters has, well, scored a lot more points, but seen a lot more whistles. At the moment, the Ponca Indians are on a 10-2 run and now lead at 38-28 with 1:14 remaining here in the third quarter. So pregame that's just underway. Tip set for 7:30 with the girls. That is in question as of right now, but we'll see if we can't get it underway. I know they were having the JV game in the other gymnasium, and the hope is that maybe they can warm up after that and then move in here and move the night along quickly. But before we get into that Bob Hayes interview, let's talk about the success of the Vermillion girls and what has been high-flying so far. Off to one of the best starts in school history. The Vermillion girls are 5-0, and they're doing so because of their offense. You're going to hear head coach John Brooks talk about this later. This team right now is averaging 57 points a ball game and just allowing teams to score 37. So far, their season high in a game has been 62 points. They have done that 3 different times. In fact, what really lowers that average is that 10-point victory against West Central. But otherwise, it's been done so well. Brooke Jensen, of course, has been huge for this team, averaging 25 points a ball game. But the scoring has been really spread out after that, including 3 different girls that are averaging 8 points a ball game. And that's what's made it so exciting. As we have it pulled up as well, the standings right now, yes, it's still early. Yes, I mean, you look at the standings and we just like to kind of glance at them. You can see that T area, even after Vermillion got the win, moved to 5-0. T area is still in first place right now, and don't get too excited about that. That just comes down to strength of schedule, and that's going to be the big comparison that you see when it comes to this region. Just because you have a few losses doesn't mean you're going to be knocked down lower in the standings. It all comes down to that strength of opponent, and T area plays a lot of AA teams throughout the season, so that's really going to help their standings. Again, you go back to before that loss against Vermillion, they dominated Sioux Falls Jefferson. When I say them, I mean the T area Titans. So that's why 3-1 overall. They're at 45.25 seed points. Vermillion right behind him though, 5-0 overall, 45 seed points, and then things kind of teeter off after that. Canton in third, Lennox is in fourth. Dakota Valley has gotten a little bit of help actually from other teams. They have bounced up to fifth right now, 1-4 overall at 40.6 seed points. You have Beersford and Elk Point Jefferson both tied at 40.5. What's kind of interesting there as well, Beersford is 3-1 on the season, where Elk Point Jefferson is 3-3, and then Parker down there at the bottom spot of 0-8. And we had to be extremely thankful for today's basketball games because of all this weather that we have had. A lot more games have been postponed across the state of South Dakota, including some key games that we really had our eyes on tonight, and hopefully those would happen. We're talking more specifically the Parkston Trojans. They were supposed to play against Sioux Falls Christian, and just kind of off air, Coach John Brooks and I joked a little bit. It's nice when you have a game one night and come back 24 hours later. That team can also be in the same boat. That means they're going to have tired legs. They're going to just kind of be in that same recovery process. But since Parkston didn't have school today, they didn't have a game tonight, they're going to be a little bit fresher going into that game tomorrow. And certainly going to be another tough matchup, as Parkston is receiving votes as well in Class A. They're 4-0 overall, but again, haven't played maybe some of the top competition in Class A and also in the state of South Dakota. Plus, we just really don't know a whole lot about them, as their games have been so spread out. You think we're basically now a month into the beginning of the basketball season, and we still haven't had a lot of games that are being made up. But Vermillion will take on Parkston coming up tomorrow evening, along with the boys back home inside the Birdcage. We're heading to the fourth quarter in this game between Lawton Bronson and the Ponca Indians. Again, in boys action, Ponca Indians versus the Vermillion Tanagers, and girls action is coming up right after this. We're going to take a step aside, and when we come back, head coach Bob Hayes of the Ponca Indians, he is on the way next here on Live Ticket TV.
Let's be real. You work, you worry, you wait, you wonder. These are the challenges of life on the farm. As a community bank, First Bank and Trust understands this rural reality. We're big enough to help ag producers grow for the future and small enough to get to know you right now. Our ag bankers have ag backgrounds, which means we'll help you work through the tough years and make the most of the great ones. First Bank and Trust. Real banking, real easy. Member FDIC, Equal Opportunity Lender.
In times like these, it's good to know there's a place where people know who you are, no matter how long you've been gone. A place where the smells of home cooking are still in the air, where a simple wave warms your heart, and sharing stories is just a way of life. It's good to be home. Agraria Insurance Company, protecting what's important in life. Contact your local Agraria Insurance Company agent.
Limestone canyons, flowing waterfalls, and pristine beauty make Spearfish a sanctuary for those seeking the ultimate escape. Outdoor enthusiasts will find top-notch sport climbing, mountain biking, and UTV OHV trails. Guests are steps away from peaceful hiking trails and tranquil streams. Relax and rehash your day's adventure at one of our award-winning local breweries. Finding rest is an important part of any adventure. Lodging in Spearfish comes with a variety of choices, from cabins, B&Bs, and campgrounds to the comforts of your popular brand-name hotels. To find your unique adventure in Spearfish, go to visitspearfish.com now.
If you are self-motivated, accountable, and eager to learn new skills, we'd love to talk to you about a rock star career. Masaba in Vermillion is hiring full and part-time manufacturing positions for the rock industry. Masaba provides comprehensive training in a clean, safe, and state-of-the-art facility. Masaba offers competitive wages, a fun and interesting work environment and culture. Join our team of rock stars. Visit masabainc.com to learn more.
At Northern State University, your future starts with an affordable education that's personalized for you. Experience hands-on learning guided by world-class supportive faculty. You'll also enjoy a full campus life with opportunities to choose from numerous student activities and events, all in a safe, welcoming community. At Northern, you'll find a college that's right for you, a place to belong. Your future starts here. Unleash your potential at Northern.
Back here in Ponca High School as we're getting you set for this ranked matchup. Two teams inside the top 10 Vermillion receiving votes. The Ponca Indians number 4 in Class C2 in the state of Nebraska. And it's going to be a interesting matchup. Of course, what we have seen Vermillion do so far this season has been impressive, but for the Ponca Indians, being ranked number 4 in Class C2 is certainly an honor. An extremely good basketball team, but have they truly been tested yet? That is really the question we're all trying to ask ourselves right now and see if we can't find a clear answer. Tonight's broadcast is brought to you by Kristen and Company. Treat Kristen's Closet like your own. Enjoy refreshments while shopping and relaxing with your gal pals. Book your private shopping event or find out more by visiting them on Facebook. You'll also receive host rewards and for inviting your friends. And be sure to let Kristen know that you heard it on Live Ticket TV with Vermillion. Well, it's time to get into our first coach's interview, as earlier today I caught up with Coach Hayes to talk exactly about that. 8-0 was great, but who has tested this Indians team so far, and how do they get ready for the Vermillion Tanagers, a team very similar in their own with the length and the girls that can shoot lights out in the gym. Here he is on our pregame show. It's head coach of the Ponca Indians with more than 500 wins underneath his belt. It's head coach Bob Hayes. Well, Coach, as you get ready for this big matchup against the Vermillion Tanagers, and certainly we are going to talk about this matchup, but I want to go back to, this has been a matchup now dating back since 2018 where it seems like you've had Vermillion's number, but also during that time, you've had a lot of success as the head coach. I mean, over 500 wins with the Ponca Indians, and just going into this season after last year's state title, things just seem to be clicking. What is it in the water over in Ponca that you just continue to produce great team after great team with the Indians?
Well, we're real fortunate that we've had a lot of talented girls in that span, and girls that really bought into our system and work hard. I've had great assistants that have been with me since we got going, and that kind of combination, along with a lot of community and parent support, that's kind of been our MO. So.
Let's go back to the beginning of the season. I mean, you're coming off of a state title from a year ago. You have a lot of great experience back as they're getting ready to graduate this year. Were there any high expectations? I mean, is the pressure still on to be as darn near perfect as you can be to win? Or what has it been for the girls trying to keep that pressure off of them?
Yeah. There's always that expectation, and it's just one of those things that I guess you learn to live with, and I think the girls have taken it in stride. We've always preached to the girls, no matter what part of the season we're in, our goal is to win our next game, and they've really bought into that. So we don't talk a lot about state rankings or expectations, or we just talk about getting better and winning our next game.
Well, you talk about winning the next game. I felt like maybe a testing board, if you will, was Tuesday against Crofton. Looking forward to two ranked teams. Of course, close rivals right down the road. It seems like this is really going to be a big game for your girls. But it doesn't happen. And I mean, this is even a makeup game for Vermillion as well. Weather has played a factor. You got 2 games in during the holiday break with the Holiday Classic. How has it been this season trying to navigate all the tough weather that we have had?
It's been sometimes tough to be consistent. Sometimes it feels like when we went back to, we had a practice before we started the holiday tournament in Wisner. And that first game seemed like the holiday tournament first game seemed like the first game of the season. Very sloppy played. Nobody shot the ball very well. Nobody got in much of a flow. So it just felt like we were back to square one. So the weather, that consistency you look for, it's just not there yet. You just need to get a couple weeks where you get to practice daily and play games, in a routine and fall into a routine, and we just haven't been able to do that.
One other thing when it comes to the state of Nebraska, it can be tough at points too to play really good competition, whether at that to C2 level or just right below it or right above it. Seems like that's kind of been the start of this season. You haven't maybe played some of the toughest teams. Do you feel like you're still in a comfortable spot with your team, or do you feel like maybe you haven't been tested yet?
We feel a little bit that way, that maybe we haven't hit the meat of our schedule yet, and we thought that was and that'll happen tonight for sure.
Yeah.
But with Crofton on Tuesday and then making up the game with Vermillion tonight, we just thought, okay, here we go. This is going to start to be the meat grinder. But our January picks up a lot. We play some pretty solid teams in January here, going through January. So. The first part, we played some schools that maybe are struggling a little bit, but we thought that January was going to be the big test for us. So we're still kind of on pace for that.
Yeah, it really will be a test for your squad, and it's going to be an exciting matchup when it comes to the Vermillion Tanagers. I know you've gotten your chance to scout Vermillion a little bit. I mean, of course, as we said as well, you've seen them over the past few years now, but this is a team that returns back all their starting 5. It seems like they have gotten bigger. How excited are you to go in a matchup like this? It seems like every single player out there on the court has a rival on the other side that they're going to match up perfectly. How excited are you to see this one play out?
Well, it's always fun to play in a big game, and it is exciting for the girls, and so we're really looking forward to it. Coach Ruth does just a great job up there, and his teams are just solid all the time. It's just always a good test for both ways, I think. And it's developed into just a friendly rivalry. I think a good way to say it. There's not a lot of animosity one way or the other, like some rivalries, but it's just, respect for both programs. And we're just excited to get into it and see where we're at.
Going into this matchup, I see Vermillion, what they're able to do offensively. They really like to see if they can't get into 60 points or above in a girls' high school basketball. Once you're scoring that much, you feel comfortable as a coach to win a game. No shot clock in the state of Nebraska. That's going to be different for the Vermillion girls. Do you try to slow this game down a little bit more? Try to make them play at your tempo and don't let them play at a quick, fast pace the way they want to?
We're used to playing. I mean, we try to go up and down as much as we can. So we're used to, playing that tempo. I think I've always thought that it was a lot easier to slow down than it is to try to speed up. So we play fast tempo similar to in the games in the past, playing Vermillion, it's been an up and down game. So, the girls are used to that. That's kind of the way we play. So we're excited to play. We've had obviously some teams that have tried to slow us down and have had a little success with that. But, I don't see Vermillion, getting into that. I think they're going to want to run up and down and score points. And the shot clock, it's funny you mentioned that because Nebraska, I think within a year or so, we're going to have it too. But I think that, when we played in Vermillion or Elk Point, the shot clock hasn't been a big thing for us. I've never talked much about the girls because it just, the way we play, it doesn't affect us because we play that style of ball.
Well, when going up against this matchup as well with Vermillion, I look at your squad and see a lot of different girls can really shoot it. I mean, you have Ellers there, Evans, Kingsbury, all great shooters. Who do you expect to step up and have a big game against the Tanagers tonight?
Boy, we preach balance all the time. So, I think that, the three you mentioned, I think Abby's got to have a good, solid game for us at the point guard. And Ellie's been kind of a surprise to people. She's averaging about 8.5 a game. And sometimes people forget about her and all of a sudden they look at the score sheet and, she's put a dozen points on the board. So, I think, we always preach balance, so I'm not looking for one of them to come out and grab 20, but I'm hoping that we can get spread out and have some balance. And they're the teams that are hard to guard.
Once again, that is head coach Bob Hayes here on the pregame show talking about his squad. Again, a team that averages just under 50 points a ball game. And I tried to put him a little bit there to the screws, talking about what this team has been so far this season. We mentioned it just a little bit ago in the pregame show open, and if you're just tuning in, a Ponca team that's 8-0, number 4 in Class C2, but that really has been, at least when you just look at the simple numbers on paper, who have they played? Vermillion, you have West Central, you have T area. They showed that they can hang with some of the best teams in Class A. Ponca, who is the question? And again, this game was supposed to happen middle of December. Of course, we have the weather, and even Crofton ranked number 6 in Class C2 on Tuesday. That was really going to be a good testing point for the Ponca Indians just to see how good they really were. But again, weather plays a factor, so tonight is really, really the true test for the Indians and just seeing how talented this basketball game is. But again, Kingsbury, Evans, Ellers, all big, familiar names that have been a part of this squad the past 3 years as starters. So yes, experience, plenty of it is there for the Indians. We're going to step aside. When we come back, head coach John Brooks talking about 5-0. It's been fun, but how do you make sure you don't get too high with the highs, and what happens if a low comes around? Head coach John Brooks is on the way next here on the pregame show.
The innocence of youth. Is there anything any better? But soon they'll be in high school and facing all the same challenges you faced. How to make friends, how to fit in, how to be cool. We want our children to have everything they'll need to live fulfilling and productive lives. Make sure the kids in your family are among the more than 57,000 participants here in South Dakota who take part in high school sports or activities.
Farmers know crop insurance is essential for managing risk. It's also valuable for maximizing revenue. The crop insurance officers at Farm Credit Services of America have proprietary tools and expertise to deliver the personalized crop and revenue protection you need for the peace of mind you want. Nobody delivers crop insurance like this. Discover the difference by calling 800-884-FARM. Agriculture works here.
Birds like tanagers are great at flying out of the way to miss your car. Deer and other drivers are not. If you're in any kind of accident, bring your vehicle to Blaine's Body Shop in Vermillion. We repair your vehicle to pre-accident condition and handle the entire process from start to finish, including an accurate estimate and dealing with the insurance adjuster. So good luck to the tanagers, and if you're in an accident, bring your vehicle to
Blaine's Body Shop. Blaine's Body Shop. Automotive collision repair.
Let's be real. You work. You worry. You wait. You wonder. These are the challenges of life on the farm. As a community bank, First Bank and Trust understands this rural reality. They're big enough to help ag producers grow for the future and small enough to get to know you right now. Our ag bankers have ag backgrounds, which means we'll help you work through the tough years and make the most of the great ones. First Bank and Trust. Real banking, real easy.
This is what matters. This is beyond X's and O's. This is the difference mutual respect makes. This is what character looks like. This is what defines us in South Dakota. This is sportsmanship. School sports, it's not the outcome that matters most, but the way the games are played. This message presented by the South Dakota High School Activities Association and the South Dakota Interscholastic Athletic Administrators Association.
Times like these, it's good to know there's a place where people know who you are, no matter how long you've been gone. A place where the smells of home cooking are still in the air, where a simple wave warms your heart, and sharing stories is just a way of life. It's good to be home. Agraria Insurance Company, protecting what's important in life. Contact your local Agraria Insurance Company agent.
Well, welcome back to Ponca High School as we get you set here on the pregame show for Vermillion versus the Ponca Indians. But before we get to that, let's get to everything that's, well, let's be honest, there's plenty more going on currently in the gymnasium, as this has been a makeup day here for Ponca High School, including the boys who are set to play first, taking on the Lawton-Bronson Eagles. That was going on, and actually that game has really started to drag out here in this fourth quarter. A lot of fouling, which is kind of surprising right now. It's now a 16-point lead for the Ponca Indians, 55-39. By no means is this a close game with 90 seconds remaining here in the ball game. It just, like I said, has really drug out here in the past 20 minutes or so. And again, we're still waiting for the girls. Currently, both teams are sitting by the doors. I believe the JV game got done 15-20 minutes ago. So we're still waiting to go through warm-ups. Ponca is about to send out their JV team to finish this one out. But again, we're seeing more free throws with a 16-point lead here for the Ponca Indians. And by the way, give a quick shout-out to the University of South Dakota, the men's basketball team. After beginning 1 of 9 from the field and poor shooting, they found themselves down by 6-0 at one point. They lead it 23-19 with 5:57 remaining in the first half last time checked. And also shout to Paul Bruns, who now plays for the University of South Dakota. I heard he came on to a rounding sound of boos for the North Dakota Fighting Hawks and then went on a 5-0 run of his own. So he goes back home and is really putting it to the Fighting Hawks. But right now, up by 18, 57-39 with 80 seconds remaining here in the ball game. Yet to come still here on the pregame show. We do want to catch up with head coach John Brooks and talk more about where Vermillion finds themselves at. Again, 5-0 on the season. We knew going into this year this was going to be a very special team, but they are up against a very tough Ponca, Nebraska team, as we just got done hearing moments ago from head coach Bob Hayes. And if you missed out on it, this has been a Ponca Indians team that has been to the state tournament the past 3 years. In fact, it's been 366 days since they last lost their regular season game. That was the last time only game they lost last year during the regular season. In total, they finished 24-2 before losing in the state tournament against Crofton, Nebraska. Their only 2 losses came against Crofton last year, and it hasn't been since 2018 since Vermillion last beat Ponca. So they're looking to kind of change that narrative tonight and really continue their successful season before, again, they get very busy into the next couple of weeks. What they have, we talked about it earlier on the pregame show, back home against Parkson before taking on Madison. Lennox team that returns all their starters, an Elk Point Jefferson team that we mentioned earlier, 3-3 on their season, but very, very talented. Garrettson Del Rapids is still on the way, and of course you can't forget about the Classic that is coming up on the 14th. I don't think it's been officially scheduled on who the girls are going to play quite yet, but it looks like at this point it's going to be another team that's inside the top 10 in Class A. So Vermillion, what they've had so far with success in their season, being 5-0 is impressive, but these next 24 hours are really going to test the girls. And as this game kind of drags out longer and longer, the night gets longer and longer. Yes, it is a quick journey back north for the Vermillion girls, but right now you're looking at getting home about 10 o'clock. By the time you get relaxed, it's 11 o'clock or so in the evening, then a full day of school, and then right into basketball against a Parkson Trojans team that, again, was supposed to play last night, and they did not, or supposed to play tonight, but they didn't because of school being canceled and weren't able to play against Sioux Falls Christian. Finally, the buzzer goes off. It's 59-39. The Ponca Indians beat the Lawton Bronson Eagles from the state of Iowa. Again, what has been an extended night so far is now finally official. Time for warm-ups for the Vermillion girls. We're also going to take a break with them as they do put 20 minutes on the warm-up clock. We'll see if they don't stick to that 20 minutes as well. And if they do, could be an even extended, longer night upcoming. But we're going to step aside when we come back. It's head coach John Brooks of the Vermillion girls. That is on the way next here on Live Ticket TV. Advertising can be a struggle. Where to spend your money? Are you reaching the right audience? If you are looking for an effective method that reaches a large fan base at once, then here is your spot with Live Ticket TV. With over 65 schools in the state of South Dakota, we can help you find the right market. Plus, you can work with me, Heath, and a portion of all sales made go right back to the school. Get a hold of me today and let's get started in helping build your brand with Live Ticket TV.
At Northern State University, your future starts with an affordable education that's personalized for you. Experience hands-on learning guided by world-class supportive faculty. You'll also enjoy a full campus life with opportunities to choose from numerous student activities and events, all in a safe, welcoming community. At Northern, you'll find a college that's right for you, a place to belong. Your future starts here. Unleash your potential at Northern.
There's no better organization that gives back to the student athletes than the Booster Club. The Vermillion Booster Club is committed to helping all student athletes grow. Join the Tanager faithful today by becoming a member at GoTanagers.com. While you're there, check out team apparel for your favorite sports team. Like them on Facebook to stay up to date on all the latest information and sports games. Join the Vermillion Boosters today and go Tanagers!
Agriculture is like no other business, which makes Farm Credit Services of America like no other lender. Owned by the farmers and ranchers we serve, our customers have a voice in how we work, a stake in what we do, and share in our success. Discover a lender that works for you at Farm Credit Services of America.
Hi, this is Kristen Cunningham with Chic Boutique by Kristen & Company in Centerville, South Dakota. We're an all-size inclusive boutique offering sizes small through 3X on many items, including denim jeans and jackets, shackets, pants, skirts, graphic tees and sweatshirts, joggers, school swag, hats and caps, many fashion accessories including purses and lots of jewelry. And we also offer gift items for birthdays and weddings. Get your shopping fix at 636 Broadway Street, Centerville, South Dakota. Open Tuesday through Friday, 10 to 7, and Saturday, 10 to 4.
Let's be real. You work, you worry, you wait, you wonder. These are the challenges of life on the farm. As a community bank, First Bank and Trust understands this rural reality. We're big enough to help ag producers grow for the future and small enough to get to know you right now. Our ag bankers have ag backgrounds, which means we'll help you work through the tough years and make the most of the great ones. First Bank and Trust. Real banking, real easy. Member FDIC, Equal Opportunity Lender.
Welcome back to Ponca High School as we get you set for this matchup between Ponca and Vermillion. Hasn't been since 2018 when Vermillion last beat the Ponca Indians, coming in ranked number 4 in the class of C2 for the state of Nebraska. When it comes to class size, by the way, Vermillion would be considered a B, AB, C1, C2, D1, D2. And just kind of how the points break down. If you kind of look at it, you'd probably say Ponca is right there on the cusp of being a Class A team. They might even fall just into the Class B mark as well. Tonight's broadcast here on Live Ticket TV is brought to you by Northern State University. At Northern State, their students strive inside and outside the classroom with hands-on learning opportunities guided by dedicated faculty and a close-knit campus community. Students are set on a path to succeed and make a difference in the world at Northern State University. Well, going into this matchup, it's now the 4th straight team in a row that is ranked number 4. Vermillion so far has been successful when it comes to beating that number 4 team and now receiving votes in the state of South Dakota. Vermillion at 5-0 has been just on this big hot streak to start the season. But again, when it comes against the Ponca Indians, they really haven't had success in quite some time, mainly because of the length of the Ponca Indians. Today, I caught up with head coach John Brooks and not only talked about how the Indians bring something that Vermillion hasn't seen yet this season, but also the success of the Vermillion girls as they really start to get consumed by the media. How do they make sure they stay focused on not just the first 7 games of the season, but more specifically, the end of the season? Here he is with our pregame interview. It's head coach of the Vermillion girls, John Brooks. Well, Coach Brooks, as we get ready for this big matchup against the Ponca Indians, let's go back to where your team is at right now at the point of the season. We talked about going into this season, this was going to be a lot of fun. Returning starters from a year ago, a lot of experience comes back, but now you're 5-0. The media is starting to grab the attention of what your girls are capable of doing. You've beaten a team you've never beaten before, and then you showed on Monday that you can handle the T-Area Titans. So with all this media attention that the girls are getting, that you are getting, how do you make sure that everyone stays focused on the task at hand? It's not the first 5 games or even 8 games of the season, but it's all about making it back to another state tournament.
That was the big topic of conversation yesterday at practice before we got going. Is they're kids. They're on social media, and they can tend to eat those things up pretty quick and start feeling pretty good about themselves. And we just told them, we're only 5 games in. We got a long season ahead of us. We got a lot of really good teams ahead of us, starting with Ponca. And the second you start feeling good about yourself and don't come in prepared to a game, you're going to get beat. So yesterday was definitely about refocusing and getting ready for a really good Ponca team here tonight.
The first 5 games of the season, it has been impressive what you have been able to do offensively. I mean, the season high 62 points in a basketball game, done that now a few different times. And then the defense, forcing the Titans into 26 turnovers Monday afternoon. What do you think has been more impressive with this team, the offense or the defense?
Well, we thought our defense would kind of pick up where it did last year. We were a pretty good defensive team last year, and just having everybody back and being a year older and a little bit more physical, that we could be really good on that side of the floor, and we have been so far. But our big message to our girls before we took the floor against T was offense. And we don't say that very often because we are so focused on our defense, but we knew we had to score the ball. And that's going to be no different against Ponca. Ponca is really, really solid in their man-to-man defense. And tonight, if we're not scoring it at a consistent rate, we're just not going to win. And fortunately, this year we have not gone through a bunch of big scoring spells or lulls, so to speak, and we've been able to score pretty consistently, and that's why we've been really successful.
Let's pick up there because we're going to talk more about this Ponca Indians team, but you talk about scoring. In the state of Nebraska, they don't have the shot clock. And let's be honest, looking at the Ponca Indians, it's hard to really scout them with what they're able to do offensively because they're one of those teams that can build a 15-point lead quickly on you, and then they'll just sit on it. They're fine, especially with no shot clock in the state of South Dakota. In your mind tonight, Coach Brooks, do you go in saying, hey, if we can get to 50 points, we feel like we can win this basketball game? Or do you think this is going to be a big shootout tonight?
Something we've always talked about with the girls so far this year is we feel like if we do get to that 50 mark, and it's not all about points. You have to be efficient. You have to be taking good shots. You can't be taking bad shots. But if we do that and get to 50, we always feel like we have a really good chance in the game. And Ponca plays fast in transition. They're going to push the ball at us hard up the floor. With that being said, if they don't get some other transition, then they can get very patient. So that's just something that we told our girls. There's no shot clock. They have to sit in stances. We're going to have to keep talking our way through possessions and finish them off. And hopefully we can get the tempo of the game going and try to speed things up a little bit. And we feel like that can be an advantage to us.
Something else, when we take a look back against West Central, against T area, they kind of came out maybe undersized. They were built on speed. They were going to beat you with speed, but you were able to counterbalance that with your size and deflecting passes. But for the Ponca Indians, they come in with plenty of size for themselves. How big is the inside going to be in making sure players like Brooklyn Voss, Leah Herbster, Chandler Cleveland stay out of foul trouble tonight?
Yeah, we've been able to play in space a lot lately, but this game's going to be one in the paint with our defense because Ponca is really, really physical. They have really good height. Ellers, Evans, Kingsbury, all right around that 6 foot to 6'1". Evans is she is a beast inside. She does not stop working. She plays with the motor. She's a really good finisher. She rebounds like crazy, and then obviously Ellers is their best player. 6'1" girl that can score from everywhere, and then Kingsbury's lights out from the 3-point line. Mm-hmm. And then they're going to put 2 quick athletic guards that pressure us all game, that know their roles offensively, that can knock down shots. They're just a really tough guard. So we got to try to, like we said, we can't sit in the half court against them all night tonight. They're too big, they're too physical. We got to get out and run. We got to get this game kind of playing in some space and get it to the tempo that we needed at.
Well, we've seen, of course, Jensen be great so far this season. It seems like the roles have been built around her. You never know specifically who's going to be number 2, number 3 when it comes to scoring. But when looking at your squad, Coach Brooks, who would you put as number 2 and number 3 tonight?
Yeah, like you said, we don't really know who that always is. Chandler had a great game scoring it against T, and I think that's a nice thing. Teams can't really focus on even 1, 2, 3 kids. I do know this: we're going to need to be balanced tonight. Ponca defensively is physical, and they're going to get after us. But I think we always look for Brooklyn and Casey to kind of carry the scoring load along with Brooke, Leah inside being able to score it. And then if we can get, Janaea, Claire, Chandler, Taylor Rubers is starting to find her way in the rotation. Haley Bart, if those kids can knock down some timely shots for us, then those are really big points as well.
Once again, that is head coach John Brooks here on Live Ticket TV talking about who is going to step up next for the Vermillion girls. Again, it's been exciting to watch this team. Chandler Cleveland goes off for 13 points the other afternoon against the T-Area Titans. Again, Brooke Jensen coming into today's game is averaging 25 points a game, but through the first 5 games, we're starting to see those averages die out just a little bit. Now, don't get me wrong, they are spread out nicely. Casey Hansen, along with Leah Herbster and Brooklyn Voss, are all averaging 8 points a ball game. Everyone after that slowly starting to trail off. But if Vermillion can get 2, maybe even 3 girls into double figures tonight, and as you heard Coach Brooks say, 50 points or more, it looks like this could be a win and moving to 6-0 before they have to play Receiving Votes Parkston coming up tomorrow night. By the way, the Trojans did not play as they canceled school today, so they're coming in with fresh legs as they were scheduled to play Sioux Falls Christian. All right, it's almost game time as we step aside. When we come back, we meet the starting 5 for the Indians and the Tanagers, and it's our opening tap. That's on the way next here on Live Ticket TV.
In times like these, it's good to know there's a place where people know who you are, no matter how long you've been gone. A place where the smells of home cooking are still in the air, where a simple wave warms your heart, and sharing stories is just a way of life. It's good to be home. Agraria Insurance Company, protecting what's important in life. Contact your local Agraria Insurance Company agent.
Limestone canyons, flowing waterfalls, and pristine beauty make Spearfish a sanctuary for those seeking the ultimate escape. Outdoor enthusiasts will find top-notch sport climbing, mountain biking, and UTV OHV trails. Guests are steps away from peaceful hiking trails and tranquil streams. Relax and rehash your day's adventure at one of our award-winning local breweries. Finding rest is an important part of any adventure. Lodging in Spearfish comes with a variety of choices, from cabins, B&Bs, and campgrounds to the comforts of your popular brand-name hotels. To find your unique adventure in Spearfish, go to visitspearfish.com now.
If you are self-motivated, accountable, and eager to learn new skills, we'd love to talk to you about a rock star career. Masaba in Vermillion is hiring full and part-time manufacturing positions for the rock industry. Masaba provides comprehensive training in a clean, safe, and state-of-the-art facility. Masaba offers competitive wages, a fun and interesting work environment and culture. Join our team of rock stars. Visit masabainc.com to learn more.
At Northern State University, your future starts with an affordable education that's personalized for you. Experience hands-on learning guided by world-class supportive faculty. You'll also enjoy a full campus life with opportunities to choose from numerous student activities and events, all in a safe, welcoming community. At Northern, you'll find a college that's right for you, a place to belong. Your future starts here. Unleash your potential at Northern.
The innocence of youth. Is there anything any better? But soon they'll be in high school and facing all the same challenges you faced. How to make friends, how to fit in, how to be cool. We want our children to have everything they'll need to live fulfilling and productive lives. Make sure the kids in your family are among the more than 57,000 participants here in South Dakota who take part in high school sports or activities.
Here at Ponca High School as we're getting closer to tip. Again, action earlier here in the gymnasium between the Ponca Indians boys basketball team and Lawton Bronson from the state of Iowa has really pushed everything back. Of course, this game is set to tip off at 7:30. JV games were being played in the other gym. Everything was kind of set to be on schedule. Then one thing after another, everything has just kind of been pushed back more and more. But yes, we do have one final game here in Ponca, Nebraska, and it certainly is going to be the best game of the evening. Welcome back here to Live Ticket TV, as tonight's broadcast is brought to you by First Bank and Trust. Enjoy the convenience of digital banking from anywhere, including fast and secure mobile and online options. Customized features let you streamline banking tasks across all platforms, even other financial institutions. Banking has never been easier with First Bank and Trust. Tonight's broadcast is also brought to you by Blaine's Body Shop. Might be visiting Blaine. If you recently had any problems with these storms that we've had, Blaine's has also expanded. Now with more room than ever before, Blaine's is your trusted source for auto body repair, minor dents and scratches to full restorations. Blaine's can even take care of the insurance. If you need body done work with your car, take it to Blaine's Body Shop in Vermillion. It truly has become a dynasty. In the past decade, only 2 losing seasons. It's been 366 days since their last regular season loss. In fact, when you go back to a year ago, only 2 losses for this Ponca, Nebraska team. Both those losses came to the same team. Once during the regular season and once during the state tournament. And oh, by the way, they've been to the last 4 state tournaments in Class C2. That is the Ponca Indians. And if you add something else to that sprinkle, 5 years it has been since Vermillion last beat the Ponca Indians. You have to go back to the year 2018, and this is a team that sure brings a lot of experience, not over the past year or so, but through the last 3-4 years, including a couple names on tonight's starting 5 for the Ponca Indians that are going to be familiar names that you've heard from the past. And even if you follow along with us here on Live Ticket TV during the fall season, you may remember we were here earlier for volleyball, and those names are going to be very familiar too, because this is a Ponca team that comes with a lot of size. On the flip side, the Vermillion Tanagers, what an outstanding season it has been so far. But first, pump the brakes there. Before we even begin the winter, you have to go all the way back to summer. That's where teams are made. Maybe not together, but how much do girls get up shots? How much do they start to play summer ball? Well, when you look at this starting 5 Vermillion has had in the last 3 games, all of their starting 5, or 4 of their starting 5, I should say, do play some type of summer ball, including a couple of them that do play together. Through that development, they come in and play their fall sports where they excel at that and then just continue to build. And when you look at what the starting 5 has had tonight, again, you talk about Brooke Jensen, Casey Hansen, Leah Herbster, and Brooklyn Voss. All have been playing summer ball, and that has translated into the success so far of this season. But then you get those other superstars that are a part of this team, including Janaea and Chandler, 2 great athletes that dominate other sports. Everyone talks about Chandler Cleveland's 13 points the other afternoon against the T-Area Titans, but that should be something that we shouldn't be new to. This is a goalie that dominated the scene during this past fall, Chandler Cleveland. And Janaea, she already has her name within the record books when it comes to track and field for Vermillion. Again, such a young team as well that they return back all of their starting 5. And then you got your chance the other night, or other afternoon, I should say, to see extended players like Taylor Roovers, an 8th grader. Again, another dominating player on the soccer field that got her chance to get get some playing time. And Barter that has developed over the past few years. You even talk about Baylor. Of course, Claire Doty, the senior on the volleyball team, the leader for them, translates nicely over to the basketball court as well. So what Vermillion comes with experience is certainly on the basketball court, and if it's not on the basketball court, it is certainly seen on other sports. All right, let's meet our starting five for both the Ponca Indians and the Vermillion Tanagers. We'll start with the home team, the Ponca Indians. Tonight's starting lineup will be number 20, Abby Hudra, the 5'7" senior point guard. Number 22, Ellie McAfee, the 5'8" senior guard. Number 34, Ashlyn Kingsbury, the 6' senior guard. Number 40, Grayson Evans, the 5'11" shooting forward senior. And number 44, Sam Ellers, the 6' senior center. For the Vermillion Tanagers, you see their starting five up there on the screen. It is the same starting five now that we have seen the last 4 games, and it's been impressive so far what this starting five has been able to do. Tonight it will be number 1, Casey Hansen, the 5'8" sophomore guard, who's averaging 8 points a ball game, but is shooting 33% from downtown. After that, it'll be number 15, Leah Herbster, the 6'1" senior center. Number 21, Brooklyn Voss, the 5'11" junior guard. Number 22, Janaea Cleveland, the 5'8" junior guard. And finally, averaging 25 points so far this season, number 33, Brooke Jensen, the 6'1" sophomore guard. The Vermillion Tanagers and their traditional away uniforms, all in red, numbers and letters that are in white. The Ponca Indians and their traditional home uniforms that all in white, numbers and letters that are in blue, with Ponca across the breastplate. As meeting in the middle, 2 girls that have been varsity starters since their sophomore years. Ashlyn Kingsbury, Leah Herbster. The Indians win the opening tap, and we are underway here at Ponca High School as it's controlled along the far side of the court right now with Kingsbury as they get it back to Hudra, and she's just simply dribbling out. Again, if you missed out on it earlier, there is no shot clock. The Ponca Indians will take their time, a team that averages just over 50 points a ball game. It's Leah Herbster down to Brooke Jensen at the block. Jensen, turnaround, trying to get by Evans, puts up the shot and gets it to go. It is Brooke Jensen who has her first 2 points of the ball game, again averaging 28. And this is what we see with this starting five. Janaea Cleveland will lead the press. The Indians do want to go quickly if they can in transition basketball, but now they'll step their offense as it's Abby who tries the attack. They get it over to Ashley. Ashley down inside to Sam, back out to Abby. Abby drives down to block. Her space is cut off. She has to kick it back out now to Evans. Down to the left block, shot up. This one is off the mark for Sam Ellers, but gets back the offensive rebound. Another missed shot, and it's going to go out of bounds. Last touch by the Ponca Indians. Again, this is an Indians team that is going to size up extremely well with the Vermillion Tanagers, a size that we have not seen Vermillion go up against yet this season. What Vermillion has faced is 2 teams recently with West Central in T area that's all built on speed. A pass that was tipped but finds Janaea Cleveland. Vermillion's down the front court, down to Leah Herbster, but it was a bad pass. She had to reach for it. It goes out of bounds, and it will be Ponca basketball on the quick turnover. Bob Hayes and head coach John Brooks had a conversation that extended for over 15 minutes during the warm-up. Again, as Coach Bob Hayes said in our pregame show, a friendly rivalry this has developed over the past 6 years. It's controlled with Abby as they work it back down to the cutting Kingsbury all the way top to McAfee. McAfee has her space cut off quickly by Janaea Cleveland. Again, the Ponca Indians are content with just running their offense and making sure they get the right shot. Go underneath, shot blocked away by Leah Herbster, but she commits the crime, and it will be 2 free throws upcoming as it will be Ellers who will toe the line. Again, that was one of our key topics when it came to head coach John Brooks, was how do the Tanagers stay out of foul trouble inside? They have had those issues before against the Indians. The first free throw is off the mark for Evans, and Leah Herbster even turned around at one point and mouthed that was not a foul. It certainly didn't look like it. Second free throw. This one is good for Evans as she has her first point of the ball game, and it's 2-1. Vermillion with a 1-point lead here in Ponca, Nebraska, just past 2 minutes gone into this first quarter. Leah Herbster almost lost it. Ponca Indians down without a girl right now. Back in action. Jensen straight away. 3. This one off the back of the iron. The ball will go out of bounds, and it will be Indian basketball. 2-1. Again, Vermillion still holding on to a 1-point lead right now. 5:46 here in the first quarter. As the Indians still in the backcourt, Janaea Cleveland trying to hassle the Indians. The 10 seconds do still count even if you don't see it on a shot clock. And now we're going to get a travel that will go against the Indians as McAfee made her move, drug her back foot, and a quick turnover. Vermillion first the T area Titans into 26 turnovers on Monday afternoon. Casey Hansen hands it off to Janaea Cleveland, who's at the volleyball line, drives with the right hand to the top of the key. Kicks over to Casey Hansen to Brooke Jensen. Jensen's going to make her move to the elbow, back down to Janaea Cleveland, as again the size inside is cut off, but Cleveland's going to try to take advantage of it. Goes by 2 defenders and is able to knock down the shot. Janaea Cleveland coming in averaging just under 2 points a ball game, has her first 2 in Vermillion, their biggest lead, and now another quick turnover by the Indians. It's Casey Hansen who has it with the right hand, switches it to her left. Leah Herbster at the top of the key. She showed the very first game of the season she can shoot the 3. It's now over to Janaea Cleveland. Leah Herbster will do it. This one is off the mark, but it's an offensive rebound by Janaea Cleveland. Back up. Cleveland has found some space in the defense, especially in the inside, and Vermillion has their biggest lead, 6-1, 4:39 first quarter. The Ponca Indians still in the backcourt as they try to get by Janaea Cleveland again, who's leading that press. Bounce pass to Evans. It goes beyond her reach. Quickly up to Brooke Jensen, wide open, and that's an easy 2 for Brooke Jensen. She now has 4 in the ball game. Vermillion leads it 8-1. Vermillion has outscored opponents by 38 points in the first quarter. Evans tries to make a bounce pass. It's going to hit off the knee of Casey Hansen. They say she kicked it, and Vermillion will make their first substitutions. Claire Doty, Chandler Cleveland, and Roovers will come in the ball game. Hansen, Voss, and Janaea Cleveland are out. This is also something you see a little bit different as the Ponca Indians don't really go deep into their bench. They really have to rely on their starting 5. They'll bring maybe 2-3 other girls off the bench. Step back for Ellers. This one is good, and Grace has all 3 points for the Ponca Indians. Cuts it back to a 5-point lead for Vermillion, 8-3, 3:57 first quarter. It's Claire Doty over to Jensen. Jensen gets double teamed, finds it to Roovers, over to the near corner. They go with Leah Herbster. Herbster puts down the left-handed dribble back to the top with Jensen. Jensen's going to attack the defense, dribble in between the legs, kick back out to Chandler Cleveland, sling it over to Claire Doty, and as Doty tries to find inside the lane to Jensen they go. Jensen's shot is off the back of the iron, rebounded by Evans. Quickly they push it to Kingsbury in the front court. Kingsbury all the way across, work it back to Evans, to McAfee, back out, and again, this is where you see no shot clock, so this is how the Ponca Indians will really start to chip away at teams and really just set up their offense, looking for the right kind of offensive move. They go inside again, reach and foul on Leah Herbster as she now picks up her second personal, the second team foul. And Brooklyn Voss is going to have to come back into the game. And now the Ponca Indians will make their first substitution, as coming out of the ball game will be Grace Evans. And checking in for the first time tonight will be Madigan Wallen for the Ponca Indians. Or excuse me, it will be Maya Halverson checking in for the Indians. And now a turnover in the backcourt. And finally, as it was just McAfee on the court, really no one for Vermillion was reaching in. McAfee was just laying there. They call the jump ball, and it will be possession arrow that favors the Tanagers. 8-3, 3:01 first quarter. Claire Doty up to Brooklyn Voss. She almost lost the handle. She wanted to get it back out to Claire Doty, but there to steal away was McAfee. Hooter the opposite way, off the glass, and good for 2. Abby has her first 2 points, and it's just to a 3-point lead, for the Vermillion Tanagers. As now the press on. Roovers to Voss to Jensen. Jensen, pull-up jumper, wide open once again. And Brooke Jensen just has developed from a freshman to a sophomore over the summer, and you can see how crisp her shooting is. 10-5, 2:23 first quarter. It's with Kingsbury. It's now with Abby, who has it at the volleyball line, guarded closely by Roovers, again getting her second game of action. Vermillion is without the services of Livy Ragnaris for now the third game in a row. Kingsbury, who can shoot the three, knocks it down. Ashlyn Kingsbury hits her 13th three of the season, draws it within a 2-point lead for Vermillion, who still has in the backcourt. All the way up to Voss as they break the press. Over to Roovers they go, back to Voss. Voss is holding on to it, makes her move, back to Taylor they go. As Taylor was getting pushed a little bit back from behind, she wanted to make a pass, and it's another quick turnover. Taylor's still going to get it right back for the Tanagers. She drives in. Taylor Roovers can't knock down the shot. Had an open look, couldn't quite do it. Quickly, the quarterback pass the opposite way. Good idea there from Elders, getting it up to to Kingsbury, but Kingsbury couldn't toe the line, stepped out of bounds. Quick back and forth action in the last 90 seconds. It's 10-8, 1:28 remaining in the first quarter. Vermillion holding on to a 2-point lead. Claire Doty will get it into Roovers. Doty back over to Casey Hansen, who's just moving it around from side to side. Now Taylor almost lost her dribble right in front of the Ponca student section. That's been quiet, and now another quick turnover. Vermillion has 3 straight turnovers on their last possessions. 1:07 first quarter. Back out, shoot the three, McAfee. This one a little too strong. The ball is tipped though. Getting in there was Evans, and it's going to go all the way back out as it's controlled once again with the Ponca Indians. Driving in, Abby works it to McAfee, and they get it to Ehlers. Back out, and Abby will reset with now 47 seconds left here in this first quarter. Vermillion still holding on to a 2-point lead, 10-8. Back to the top they go. Again, no shot clock in the state of Nebraska, and this is one of those possessions that you see it taking effect. Claire Doty deflected the pass. They say Ellie McAfee did get fingertips to it, goes out of bounds, so Vermillion technically can hold on for a last-second shot. They don't have to go if they don't want to. It's back with Taylor Roovers, over to Casey Hansen, to Voss. Voss will shoot the quick three. This one is off the side of the iron, but it's offensive rebound by Casey Hansen. Splits by 2 defenders and goes right back up. Casey Hansen has her first 2 points of the ball game. It's 12-8, 12 seconds remaining in this first quarter. It's quickly shot up by the Indians, off the mark, rebounded by Chandler Cleveland with 4 seconds. Claire Doty has the basketball. Doty will let the half-court heave go. They say she got fouled. Claire Doty gets fouled as the buzzer goes off. It's the first team foul against the Ponca Indians of this first quarter. It goes against Abby, picking up her first, and Claire Doty will shoot 3 free throws before the end of this quarter. Now, Vermillion going into it, their free throws have been the worst so far this season as they are shooting 69% from the field. Claire Doty, as an individual, is just 2 of 4 through 5 games. Head coach Bob Hayes is getting an explanation. I think they're going to add maybe time back to the clock. I think that's what they're saying. I think Claire Doty actually shot it before they let time expired. Officials have gone both over to head coach Bob Hayes and John Brooks, and they put .5 back up on the clock. So nonetheless, Claire Doty has 3 free throws upcoming, and then a chance at a rebound. First free throw is off the mark. So Claire Doty now 2 of 5 so far this season, looking to get the first points for her off the bench tonight. Puts the right foot down, digs in with the left. Second free throw. This one is good. And now that makes it 4 different Tanagers that have scored already here in this first quarter. And it's back up to a 5-point lead. Tanagers' biggest lead was 7 in this quarter at 8-1. Claire Doty, the third and final free throw. It's up. She goes 2 of 3. And try to inbound. Ponca will just get it in, and the half-court heave never came. So we put .5 back on just for the heck of it, 14-8. As we move to the second quarter, Vermillion leads it by 6. We're back in just a moment here on Live Ticket TV.
Farmers know crop insurance is essential for managing risk. It's also valuable for maximizing revenue. The crop insurance officers at Farm Credit Services of America have proprietary tools and expertise to deliver the personalized crop and revenue protection you need for the peace of mind you want. Nobody delivers crop insurance like this. Discover the difference by calling 800-884-FARM. Agriculture works here.
Birds like tanagers are great at flying out of the way to miss your car. Deer and other drivers are not. If you're in any kind of accident, bring your vehicle to Blaine's Body Shop in Vermillion. We repair your vehicle to pre-accident condition and handle the entire process from start to finish, including an accurate estimate and dealing with the insurance adjuster. So good luck to the tanagers, and if you're in an accident, bring your vehicle to
Blaine's Body Shop. Blaine's Body Shop. Automotive collision repair.
Let's be real. You work. You worry. You wait. You wonder. These are the challenges of life on the farm. As a community bank, First Bank and Trust understands this rural reality. They're big enough to help ag producers grow for the future and small enough to get to know you right now. Our ag bankers have ag backgrounds, which means we'll help you work through the tough years and make the most of the great ones. First Bank and Trust. Real banking, real easy.
Back here to start the second quarter with Mr. Robinson right in front of us on looking. The Vermillion boys get ready to take on the Parkston Trojans coming up tomorrow evening. Parkston, again, they did not have a game tonight, boys and girls, after school was canceled and makeup with Sioux Falls Christian. So we begin the second quarter here. A quick turnover for the Ponca Indians. Vermillion leads it 14-8, and now a travel by Brooke Jensen. So recapping that first quarter, Brooke Jensen had 6 points in the ball game. Janaea Cleveland 4 points, and then 2 points apiece for Claire Doty and Casey Hansen. 3 points apiece for Kingsbury and Evans, and then 2 points for Abby, as Vermillion has a 6-point lead 30 seconds into this second quarter. What is a great crowd on hand for Ponca High School. Again, Ponca 8-0. Again, some different media rankings have Ponca at number 2, number 4. A far jumper, this one is good for McAfee, and McAfee will have her first points of the ball game. Vermillion's largest lead came at 8-1 halfway through the first quarter. Cleveland holding on to it, now gets the pass to Brooklyn Voss, back inside to Jensen, now to Cleveland, who puts up the jumper. This one strong off the back of the iron, and then a rebounding foul that will go against Casey Hansen, picking up her first personal in the third team foul. Again, Vermillion comes into it 5-0 overall. What's been more impressive, though, is how Vermillion has started 5-0. They're 4-0 in the DAC 12. You talk about getting even 6-7 wins in the DAC 12. That's extremely impressive. So Vermillion has gotten off to a great start. Kingsbury, the three, is off the mark, rebounded by Jensen. Vermillion still holding on to a 2-possession lead as Casey Hansen brings it to the elbow, kick it over to Brooklyn Voss. She puts up the jumper. This one is off the mark and quickly rebounded by Evans, as the Indians do like to push tempo. They try to force it quickly. Evans had her pass deflected, got it back, and they'll reset with Ehlers over to Kingsbury on the wing. Back to the top they work, as just holding on right now to it is Abby. Abby's trying to get a little bit of movement, shouting out to her Kingsbury. Still Abby with the right-handed dribble as she brings it to the far side as we see it. Kingsbury back to Abby, now under 6 minutes remaining in the first half. It's McAfee back to Abby as she just holds on to it once again. Again, the Ponca Indians looking for that right play. Usually when they hold on to it this long, they get a foul or they get a bucket. Three-pointer. This one is off the mark for Kingsbury. Ball being tipped around. Ehlers gets it back. Her shot is off the mark. And Janaea Cleveland, wow, she gets called for a travel off the rebound, even though she didn't have her right foot on the ground. Surprising call there. The officials are now going to get together. The officials are getting together, and there's a discussion if Cleveland actually passed the basketball before the travel was called. Let's see if they reverse it. They are not going to. It will stay with the Ponca Indians. Wow. 14-10, 5:38, second quarter. The Indians, after working almost a minute off the clock, still have a possession. Now Ehlers gets her pocket picked. Quickly, Casey Hansen the opposite way. Pulls back out to Brooke Jensen, who thought about shooting the three, now drives in, puts up the shot. This one's off the mark. And again, the size of the Indians, easy on the rebound. Quickly with McAfee, who has it on the far wing. Bounce pass to the top with Kingsbury, who's just holding on to it at the moment. Back over underneath, now they work in the lane. It was McAfee who tried to force it down to Grace Evans, and it was cut off as a couple of Tanager defenders inside once again. Vermillion has yet to score, and the reverse layup finally ends the drought in this second quarter. Casey Hansen, who's averaging 8 points so far this season, now has 4 in the ball game. It's back up to a 6-point lead for the Tanagers, 16-10. By the way, Vermillion has committed 3 team fouls, only 1 for the Indians. It has been a quick-moving first half. Kingsbury back out to McAfee. McAfee works it over to Abby, who's just standing, holding at the volleyball line. So again, they didn't go quick in transition. So now they will set up for the perfect shot or try to draw a foul on the inside on the Tanagers. This could take another 20 seconds before Ponca finally gets what they want. Abby, bounce pass over to Kingsbury. By the way, we've been told next year is when Nebraska is going to have the shot clock once again. Still can't confirm if that's true. Ball almost went out of bounds. It's controlled once again with McAfee. Halfway through now this second quarter as this possession has now taken over 40 seconds. Down underneath to Ehlers, and her shot is up and good. But that is exactly what Ponca will do. They'll hold on to it. They'll wait. They'll find something until you crack defensively, and they'll take advantage of it with points or a foul. Casey Hansen got the ball, but stolen away by McAfee quickly. McAfee quickly the opposite way, and a foul was called against Casey Hansen before the shot. Casey Hansen now picks up her second personal in the 4th team foul. And it will be Abby to inbound the basketball. Jensen and Cleveland will come out as Claire Doty and Taylor Roofers check in, and now a timeout by head coach John Brooks will step aside. We'll take the timeout with them. We're back in 30 seconds here on Live Ticket TV.
This is what matters. This is beyond X's and O's. This is the difference mutual respect makes. This is what character looks like. This is what defines us in South Dakota. This is sportsmanship. School sports. It's not the outcome that matters most, but the way the games are played. This message presented by the South Dakota High School Activities Association and the South Dakota Interscholastic Athletic Administrators Association.
(16-12). It's a 4-point lead for the Vermillion Tanagers as they try to force the inbound to Evans. Everyone's going to fall to the ground. Possession arrow favors the Ponca Indians, so jump ball called, and it will stay with Ponca. Score is 16-12. Vermillion has led it throughout the ball game. They have not surrendered the lead. The Indians have looked threatening at times, especially here in the past 2 minutes when it seems like it's been nothing but Indians basketball, as again, offensive possessions that just linger around. McAfee lost it for a moment, bounced past to Grace Evans, passed back out, was tipped in the air. This is a team that has made it to the state tournament the last 4 years, and they have built a dynasty. Head coach Bob Hayes over 500 wins in his coaching career. McAfee got stolen away by Janaea Cleveland. 22 in red beats 22 in right. Quickly transition basketball. Leah Herbster has her first 2 points of the ball game. It's 18-12, 2:49, second quarter. This gives Vermillion a chance to run their press now with McAfee. Ball is tipped by Cleveland, but the Indians come back up with it. We've seen over the past few games, that's usually a turnover, and Vermillion will go quickly back into their offense. McAfee back out to Abby, and again, we'll see how long this possession takes, as Abby's going to take on 2 defenders, but it's going to be an offensive rebound, and as the rebound comes in, a foul against Janaea Cleveland, picking up her first personal and the 5th team foul. And we're going to see another quick substitution. Again, this has been the only substitution so far, as coming now into the basketball game for the Ponca Indians will be Claire Burrell. She checks in. It's controlled with Abby. Back down to Sam Ellers. Now over to McAfee. She'll shoot the 3. This one is going to hit off the rim. It then hit the supporting rope with the hoop, and that one's considered out of bounds every single time. So Vermillion, 6-point lead with 2:14 remaining here in this first half. It's controlled with Taylor Roovers as she gets by 2 defenders. Roovers now over to Janaea Cleveland. No look pass to Doty. Back over to Roovers. Now back to Janaea Cleveland. Leah Herbster. Vermillion has 3 of their starters currently on the court. It's Voss to Doty. Back to the top with Janaea Cleveland as Vermillion swings around the perimeter. Leah Herbster's going to attack, drive in, and count the bucket. Leah Herbster, the old-fashioned 3-point play as she got the shot up before the contact came. And Leah Herbster now with 4 points in the ball game. The foul goes against Abby, her second personal, just the 2nd team foul. She's also going to come out. Voss is also out of the basketball game as Chandler Cleveland is going to check in. So Leah Herbster will toe the free throw line. 20-12, 151 remaining in this first half. The first free throw is up, and the only one is good for Leah Herbster as she now has 5 points in the ball game. She'll also come out. Brooke Jensen is back in. So Vermillion now leads it by 9. It's their biggest lead of the ball game, 21-12, 144 remaining in this first half. Again, just 4 points so far for the Ponca Indians. This offense that is taking a while to develop finally needs to get going, trailing by so much. Roovers trying to apply the defense is now going to steal it away. And with 86 seconds remaining in this first half, Taylor Roovers and the Tanagers can bleed out some of this clock. Jensen over to Janaea Cleveland. Cleveland puts down the right-handed dribble, kick back out. 3-pointer straight away. This one off the mark as Brooke Jensen hasn't been able to quite find her shot so far. She's got 6 points in the ball game. Has yet to score, though, in this second quarter. Again, coming into it, she's averaging 25. 21-12, 54 seconds remaining in this second quarter. Sam Ellers turnaround jumper, foul called, and she'll shoot 2 free throws as the foul goes against Brooke Jensen. That's her first personal in the 6th team foul. Sam so far is 1 of 2 from the free throw line. As the first free throw is up, and this one is no good. So she continues her struggle. And she's now 1 of 3 here in the ball game. 21-12, 50.8 remaining. Second free throw, this one is good. Give her 4 points in the ball game. 8-point lead for the Tanagers as well, as Roovers quickly blows by the press of McAfee. Roovers dribble in between the legs, work it over to the near side, back to top with Cleveland as Claire Doty got knocked over by Ellers. Claire Doty now has the basketball. Over to Cleveland, again with no shot clock. Vermillion can technically hold on for the last second shot if they want to. They're running offense, though, as normal. Roovers will make the pass over to Janaea Cleveland. Back to Claire Doty. Jensen straightaway 3. This one off the mark as she's now 0 of 4 from the 3-point line. Roovers gets knocked over. No foul called. 8 seconds remaining for the Ponca Indians. It's Ellers. Back to the top they go with now 3 seconds. 2. It's to Sam Ellers at the elbow. The shot did not get up in time. It didn't hit anyways. And Vermillion, after the first half, leads it by 8, 21-13, allowing just 5 points from that Ponca Indian team in the second quarter. So their defense stands tall once again. Again, this is a Tanager defense that allows offenses to score just under 40 points a ball game, and they're doing that once again tonight as they are in control. They've been in control the entire ball game, again leading by 8. 21-13. Before we go to halftime, we give some love to our sponsors as today's broadcast is brought to you by Masaba. At Masaba, people are valued as much as performance and ethics are a way of life. Join the talented team developing and delivering unparalleled, dependable solutions to partners around the world. Share your expertise, skill, and commitment to excellence with them and become a rock star of their growing company. Apply today at Masaba.com. Once again, 21-13. We go to halftime. We're back in just a moment here on Live Ticket TV.
Times like these, it's good to know there's a place where people know who you are, no matter how long you've been gone. A place where the smells of home cooking are still in the air, where a simple wave warms your heart, and sharing stories is just a way of life. It's good to be home. Agraria Insurance Company, protecting what's important in life. Contact your local Agraria Insurance Company agent.
Advertising can be a struggle. Where to spend your money? Are you reaching the right audience? If you are looking for an effective method that reaches a large fan base at once, then here is your spot with Live Ticket TV. With over 65 schools in the state of South Dakota, we can help you find the right market. Plus, you can work with me, Heath, and a portion of all sales made go right back to the school. Get a hold of me today and let's get started in helping build your brand with Live Ticket TV. Welcome back here to Ponca High School as it's 21-13 right now at halftime. It's an 8-point lead for the Vermillion Tanagers, and what doesn't always have to be the best offensively, the Vermillion Tanagers have got it done defensively, just holding the Ponca Indians to 5 points in that second quarter. And again, with no shot clock here in the state of South Dakota, this isn't necessarily a Ponca Indians Nebraska team that wants to move slow by any means, but they do when they don't get their transition basketball. They do look for the right shots. They do want to make sure that they're either forcing teams into foul trouble or they're getting points. But one big thing coming into tonight's game we said about the Ponca Indians is they haven't necessarily been tested. Again, when you look at their 8 opponents so far who they've beaten, not one of them has a record above 500. So this was the first real test for the Indians, and they certainly have been tested by the length and the speed that Vermillion has been able to use, especially going into their bench. And that's probably when you look at the first half numbers that you see for the Vermillion Tanagers. It's been balanced once again with 5 different scorers, but again, out of those 4 scorers, we see everyone right next to each other. Brooke Jensen has 6 points so far in the ball game. She did not score in the second quarter. Otherwise, 4 points for Janaea Cleveland, 4 points for Casey Hansen, but 5 points were added by Leah Herbster there in the second quarter. So when Brooke Jensen wasn't hitting her shots, she had plenty of offense around her once again. Claire Doty also has 2 points in the ball game. Yet to score, kind of interesting to look at. Chandler Cleveland has yet to get a bucket so far tonight, and neither have Brooklyn Voss. Expect those two to really step up here in the second half. On the opposite side, the Ponca Indians, light scoring, and it's been done all by their starting five, which we expected. Sam Ellers leads the way with 4 points, 3 points for Ashlyn Kingsbury, and then 2 points apiece for Abby, Ashley, and Grayson. And that is the only scoring so far by the Ponca Indians. The Tanagers have forced the Indians into 11 turnovers so far in the first half. Again, you go back to where Vermillion has found their bread and butter. They force teams into an average of 21 turnovers a basketball game, so they're right on track to do that once again. And again, this is a Tanagers team that is so far undefeated, and what has been a late night now. It's already 8:35, and again, they get ready for the Parkston Trojans back home tomorrow evening in less than 24 hours. Again, this is a Parkston team that did not play earlier today against Sioux Falls Christian due to weather. That game has been postponed to a later date. We're going to step aside, and when we come back, it's already time for the second half. That's on the way next here on Live Ticket TV.
At Northern State University, your future starts with an affordable education that's personalized for you. Experience hands-on learning guided by world-class supportive faculty. You'll also enjoy a full campus life with opportunities to choose from numerous student activities and events, all in a safe, welcoming community. At Northern, you'll find a college that's right for you, a place to belong. Your future starts here. Unleash your potential at Northern.
There's no better organization that gives back to the student athletes than the Booster Club. The Vermillion Booster Club is committed to helping all student athletes grow. Join the Tanager faithful today by becoming a member at GoTanagers.com. While you're there, check out team apparel for your favorite sports team. Like them on Facebook to stay up to date on all the latest information and sports games. Join the Vermillion Boosters today and go Tanagers!
Agriculture is like no other business, which makes Farm Credit Services of America like no other lender. Owned by the farmers and ranchers we serve, our customers have a voice in how we work, a stake in what we do, and share in our success. Discover a lender that works for you at Farm Credit Services of America.
Hi, this is Kristen Cunningham with Chic Boutique by Kristen & Company in Centerville, South Dakota. We're an all-size inclusive boutique offering sizes small through 3X on many items, including denim jeans and jackets, shackets, pants, skirts, graphic tees and sweatshirts, joggers, school swag, hats and caps, many fashion accessories including purses and lots of jewelry. And we also offer gift items for birthdays and weddings. Get your shopping fix at 636 Broadway Street, Centerville, South Dakota. Open Tuesday through Friday, 10 to 7, and Saturday, 10 to 4.
Let's be real. You work. You worry. You wait. You wonder. These are the challenges of life on the farm. As a community bank, First Bank and Trust understands this rural reality. We're big enough to help ag producers grow for the future and small enough to get to know you right now. Our ag bankers have ag backgrounds, which means we'll help you work through the tough years and make the most of the great ones. First Bank and Trust. Real banking, real easy. Member FDIC, Equal Opportunity Lender.
In times like these, it's good to know there's a place where people know who you are, no matter how long you've been gone. A place where the smells of home cooking are still in the air, where a simple wave warms your heart, and sharing stories is just a way of life. It's good to be home. Agraria Insurance Company, protecting what's important in life. Contact your local Agraria Insurance Company agent.
Lime.
as both teams have emerged from the first half locker room. It's an 8-point lead for the Vermillion Tanagers as we get set to start the second half. It's been 366 days since the Ponca Indians last lost a regular season game that goes back all the way to January 4th of last year, where they lost to the Crofton Warriors. In fact, Crofton Warriors were their only 2 losses, including during the regular season and in the state tournament. This is a Ponca team that returned back 4 out of their 5 starters from a year ago. Vermillion, of course, returned back all their 5 starters, and Vermillion currently leads it by 8 as we start the second half. The Tanagers will now be moving from right to left as you see it, wearing the red uniforms. Of course, the Ponca Indians in their white uniforms. The Tanagers 5-0 on the season. The Ponca Indians 8-0. Quick turnover on the travel called against Casey Hansen. Hansen had 4 points in that second quarter. By the way, last time checked, University of South Dakota Coyotes men's basketball team was up by 11 with under 8 minutes remaining in the ball game up in North Dakota. Another quick turnover for the Ponca Indians. So both teams start with back-to-back turnovers. Brooke Jensen, who scored just 6 points in that first half, is going to try to get going here a little bit more in this second half. Again, Voss and Chandler Cleveland did not score either. On the drive, missed by Casey Hansen. Fight for the loose basketball as it's picked back up by Voss over Jensen, who is wide open on the 3. This one she still can't hit. Brooke Jensen is now 0 of 5 from the 3-point line. It's McAfee who quickly drives in, tried to split by the tall trees, could not do so. As she put up her shot, she kind of fumbled it out of bounds, and it will be back to Vermillion. 21-13, 7:08 third quarter. It has been a quick-moving third quarter already as both teams have not been able to hit a shot. Again, the Indians just scored 5 points in that second quarter. It's Voss to Janaea Cleveland. Over to Casey Hansen. They swing it back to Jensen. Jensen puts down the left-handed dribble. Back to Casey Hansen, who wasn't quite ready for it but is able to deal. Now to Cleveland. Back to Voss. Voss to Leah Herbster at the baseline. Back to the top with Janaea Cleveland. No look pass. 3-pointer. Wow, this one misses everything from the trusty 3-point shooter of Casey Hansen. Again, coming into the ball game, she was shooting 33%. But again, the Tanagers continue to struggle. In fact, Vermillion so far has not hit a 3-pointer here in the ball game. They are 0 of 11 so far. 21-13, 6:25, third quarter. It's down underneath to Evans. Work it back to Ehlers at the block. Has her shot blocked away from behind. No, they call a foul instead on Voss as she's going to pick up her first personal and the first team foul. They say it's also a shooting foul, so Sam will go to the free throw line for the 3rd time this evening. She is 2 of 4. His first free throw is up. She now has 5 points in the ball game, where she is now 3 of 5. Head coach Bob Hayes is calling out a play. Again, a coach that has 504 wins underneath his belt. His second free throw, this one is good as well. It's now down to a 6-point lead for the Vermillion Tanagers as it was able to hit both Ehlers for the first time this evening. Casey Hansen wide open, won't shoot the 3, will go low underneath to Leah Herbster, and Herbster will draw the foul. This is just the 3rd total team foul against the Ponca Indians here in the ball game. Play very, very clean basketball. The foul, by the way, goes against Kingsbury, which is her first personal, and Leah Herbster, who shoots 67%, hits the first free throw. Leah Herbster also now has 6 points in the ball game. She is tied with the leading scorer of Brooke Jensen. Could take that title right now by herself. Second free throw is up, and she will do so. She goes a perfect 2 of 2 from the free throw line. 23-15, 6:05, third quarter. Ponca in the backcourt with the press that is on right now. Again, still have that 10-second clock even without a shot clock. Usually you notice that in South Dakota of how much longer they have to get it across the timeline. Abby works it over to Kingsbury. They want to go back over to Abby. They'll do so inside the lane on a bounce pass to Sam Ellers from Abby, and Ellers is able to connect. She has all 4 points for the Indians so far in this third quarter. 8 for her in the ball game, and now a foul that's going to be called quickly in transition against the Indians, as they've already picked up now their second team foul. And the foul goes against Evans, picking up her first personal. Another 2 free throws for Leah Herbster. So again, Leah Herbster, 7 points in the ball game. Twinkle fingers out from the boys right in front of us that do support several of the guys that will play once again tomorrow evening, as the boys are back in action as they look to rebound after their tough loss against the T-Area Titans Monday evening. Second free throw, this one is good. Leah Herbster is a perfect 1,000 so far from the free throw line. She now has 9 points in the ball game, and it's back up to an 8-point lead for Vermillion, 25-17. And a quick turnover by Abby, and then a reach-in foul as well. That will be her third personal, and quickly the third team foul against the Ponca Indians. 25-17, and they're going to have to take her out, as once again coming in will be Claire Burrell checking in for the Ponca Indians, a team that does not go deep into their bench. They made a total of just 2 substitutions so far. I should say bringing in 2 girls off the bench who both have gotten minimal playing time. It's Jensen back to top with Casey Hansen. Bingo! Casey Hansen, the first 3 of the ball game for the Vermillion Tanagers, as they're now 1 of 12, and they're now up to an 11-point lead, their biggest of the ball game. It's the first time Vermillion has extended it to double digits. McAfee's double team. She's looking for someone to get to, tries to force, and she travels with it. And it's another quick turnover for the Ponca Indians, as Janaea Cleveland, the battle of 22, wins it again. And now head coach Bob Hayes has seen enough. He wants a timeout. We'll take it with him. We're back in 30 seconds here on Live Ticket TV.
Stone canyons, flowing waterfalls, and pristine beauty make Spearfish a sanctuary for those seeking the ultimate escape. Outdoor enthusiasts will find top-notch sport climbing, mountain biking, and UTV OHV trails. Guests are steps away from peaceful hiking trails and tranquil streams. Relax and rehash your day's adventure at one of our award-winning local breweries. Finding rest is an important part of any adventure. Lodging in Spearfish comes with a variety of choices, from cabins, B&Bs, and campgrounds to the comforts of your popular brand-name hotels. To find your unique adventure in Spearfish, go to visitspearfish.com now.
If you are self-motivated, accountable, and eager to learn new skills, we'd love to talk to you about a rock star career. Masaba in Vermillion is hiring full and part-time manufacturing positions for the rock industry. Masaba provides comprehensive training in a clean, safe, and state-of-the-art facility. Masaba offers competitive wages, a fun and interesting work environment and culture. Join our team of rock stars. Visit masabainc.com to learn more.
28-17, an 11-point lead. Vermillion has now built it into their biggest lead of the basketball game. And when it comes to a team from the state of Nebraska like this, the Ponca Indians, a team that has yet to be tested so far this season, it feels like the Vermillion Tanagers are right now in a good spot, as the Indians will have it here in the front court. Great to have you along as well here on Live Ticket TV. Don't forget, Live Ticket TV is your new home for all Vermillion athletics, including coming up yet, Coach Culver, we apologize. We are going to get some wrestling in this season. Seems like every time we have wrestling on the books, weather plays a factor. So we'll have wrestling coming up, then track and field during the spring, along with softball and baseball, even though it's not a school-sanctioned sport, right? We're still going to cover it. And eventually, hopefully one of these days here in the state of South Dakota, it gets covered. We'll cover, by the way, both the high school season and the Legion season as well. And just like that, they'll be back into soccer season quickly before you even know it. Quick foul underneath the hoop that will go against the Tanagers. That's their second team foul. And the foul goes against Casey Herbster, which is now her third personal, and she is going to have to come out of the ball game. They do call it a shooting foul, so Evans will toe the line, and she misses the first free throw. Right now, the Indians are shooting 70% from the charity stripe. It will be Herbster, Janaea Cleveland, and Brooklyn Voss that all come out, and coming in, Barta along with Claire Doty and Chandler Cleveland. Second free throw is no good. This one's no good, so kind of Rurik's tactic of turning around and not watching them shoot free throws ends out working out perfectly for him, as again the Ponca Indians continue to struggle from the free throw line. Now the inbound did go out of bounds. It will stay with the Ponca Indians. Vermillion still with an 11-point lead as they quickly get to Ellers on the baseline. Step back, she wanted a foul, couldn't get it. Evans though, the offensive rebound, she misses the easy bunny, and it's rebounded by the Tanagers as Casey Hansen will peel into the front court. Quickly over to Roovers, and they're going to say Roovers traveled with it as she made the pass. Again, Vermillion, you talk about the talent of sophomores and juniors. You just see quickly with Taylor only being an 8th grader, that talent that's going to continue to come up. This is going to be a Vermillion team. They're looking to make a kind of a dynasty of their own if they haven't done so over the past few years with head coach John Brooks. Again, they were just 5 points away from making it to the state tournament a year ago, eventually losing to the state champion St. Thomas More. McAfee to Kingsbury, now over to Evans, back to Ellers at the free throw line. Jumper from there is good. Sam Ellers now has all 6 points for the Ponca Indians in this third quarter. It's back down to a single-digit lead. Rivers thought about shooting the three, decides not to. Now over to Claire Doty. Doty bounced pass to Hansen. Back over to Taylor. Taylor just wants to get that shot up, but they're cutting down the space, and they're really putting their tallest girl, Sam Ellers, over on her as well. So it's certainly a task for her to put up a shot. It's now Jensen. She'll shoot the three. This one hits the front of the iron, but it's an offensive rebound for Claire Doty. To Chandler Cleveland. Casey Hansen. Back over to Taylor. Here we go. Bingo! Taylor Roovers finally got a little bit of space. She'd been waiting for it all ball game, and she has her first point off the bench. 31-19 as Vermillion has hit 2 big threes in this third quarter. Again, going at halftime, they were 0 of 10. They hadn't hit a 3 yet. Evans now has it stolen away by Claire Doty. Up to a 12-point lead for Vermillion Tanagers as they're looking to build on it. It's Claire Doty over to Casey Hansen. Back over to Taylor, who has it on the near wing this time. Bounce pass to Cleveland. Back to the top to Casey Hansen. To Claire Doty, three-pointer. Leaves this one short. Fight for the rebound back. And Jensen is going to commit a rebounding foul. That will be her second personal and the third team foul. Well, you talk about so far what could happen in this ball game. Can a comeback happen by the Ponca Indians? The Indians, though, right now, through 14 minutes of play, have put up just a total of 11 points. It does not look good right now for the Indians. Ellers has it. She's got all 6 points, by the way, of this third quarter for the Indians. And now a jumper for Burrell is off the mark. Ball is tipped. It will go out of bounds. They say last touch by Samantha. So it's Vermillion basketball. And again, with no shot clock, Vermillion can just milk the clock. But this isn't something they're built necessarily to do. It's much easier, though, to slow down the offense than to get it picked up. Cleveland inside, and she's going to be fouled. Chandler will go and shoot 2. Chandler Cleveland got plenty of attention from her afternoon where she put up 13 off the bench. Of course, we've had our chance to catch up with Miss Cleveland in our post-game shows. And just a very well-spoken, and you go back to her interview as she makes the first free throw. She mentioned it, how she has started this season and now coming off the bench. She knows the role that she has to play. It's all about the team. It's not about one individual, and she's just so grateful to be a part of it with this team. 32-19 as she missed the second free throw. Quickly the opposite way. Ellers off the glass and good for 2. So she now has all 8 points in this third quarter by the Indians. It's still an 11-point lead for Vermillion. 32-21 with 1:03 remaining in this third quarter. Claire Doty back to the top. They swing it over to the opposite wing now with Casey Hansen. The rainbow pass back to the near wing with Claire Doty. Back with another rainbow pass the opposite way. Want to get it underneath to Voss, and it's a quick turnover as the orange almost found its way outside of the gym. But a team that is 8-0, according to some media polls, ranked number 4, others number 2, the Ponca Indians really facing their biggest test of the season, and they are being put to it. It's controlled with Kingsbury. Over to McAfee as they dribble it back out. 33 seconds remaining in this third quarter. Kingsbury wants to get it inside to Evans. Try to force a pass. Eller's able to pick it up, and she's going to be fouled, and she'll shoot 2. Sam Ellers has been the only bright spot right now for this Ponca Indians team. That foul, by the way, comes against Brooklyn Voss, her second personal, 4th team foul. Against Samantha, all 8 points so far by the Indians in this third quarter. Free throw is good. Where she has struggled so far from the free throw line, but she's now a perfect 3 of 3 here in this third quarter. And now Brooke Jensen is back into the ball game. Claire Doty will check out. 32-22, 24 seconds. This free throw is up and good. So all 10 points in this third quarter, 14 for the ball game. Sam Ellers is single-handedly trying to keep the Ponca Indians here in the ball game. It's to Brooklyn Voss. Voss, bounce pass over to Taylor Roovers with 8 seconds. Taylor loses the basketball. Is going to get it back, and it's going to be a double dribble. As they say, she picked it back up with possession never changing. And now Janaea Cleveland's going to come in quickly. They're going to switch a little bit of offense for defense. 32-23, a 9-point lead for the Vermillion Tanagers. They inbound it straight to Sam. She's going to draw the double team from the Cleveland sisters. Just heaves something up. Ball is going to go out of bounds, and that will end quarter number 3 with the Vermillion Tanagers just as they were at halftime, up on the Ponca Indians. The only difference is they've expanded their lead. They now lead it by 9, 32-23. We're back in just a moment here on Live Ticket TV.
At Northern State University, your future starts with an affordable education that's personalized for you. Experience hands-on learning guided by world-class supportive faculty. You'll also enjoy a full campus life with opportunities to choose from numerous student activities and events, all in a safe, welcoming community. At Northern, you'll find a college that's right for you, a place to belong. Your future starts here. Unleash your potential at Northern.
The innocence of youth. Is there anything any better? But soon they'll be in high school and facing all the same challenges you faced. How to make friends, how to fit in, how to be cool. We want our children to have everything they'll need to live fulfilling and productive lives. Make sure the kids in your family are among the more than 57,000 participants here in South Dakota who take part in high school sports or activities.
It's never happened before in the history of Vermillion basketball, knocking off the 4th-ranked team 3 games in a row. But right now, they have number 4 Ponca Indians up to the ropes as we begin the 4th quarter, as it's controlled in the front court with Kingsbury at the elbow. She works it back out to McAfee. Vermillion leads it by 9, 32-23, as the Indians got 10 points in that third quarter, all from Sam Ellers, as she puts up the jumper and is just bringing the Ponca Indians back into this game by herself. A total of 16 points in the ball game, including now 12 in this second half. Again, all points for the Ponca Indians. Leah Herbster, a high pass, but Voss will chase it down before it goes out of bounds. As now the student section starting to get a little bit more into it for the Ponca Indians as they try to get back into it. Ponca has never faced a deficit entering the 4th quarter yet this season. Janaea Cleveland Back out to Casey Hansen. Hansen the jumper. This one is good. Casey Hansen now has 9 points in the ball game. And where Brooke Jensen has been held in check with just 6 points, all coming back in the first quarter, she has seen her teammates step up and take care of business just as we expect the season to happen. McAfee, bounce pass to Sam Ellers, three-pointer for her, good! My goodness, Samantha can't miss right now. All 15 points for the Ponca Indians in the second half. 34-28, it's down to just a 6-point lead now. And now a pass that deflects off the hand of Brooklyn Voss and will go out of bounds. The Ponca Indians starting to grab a little bit of momentum early in this fourth quarter. As it will be Abby, who will bring it into the front court. Abby continues to make something happen into Ellers and a reach and foul that will go against Janaea Cleveland, picking up the 5th team foul, and Janaea Cleveland will pick up her second personal. It's a non-shooting foul. So now Vermillion has committed 5 team fouls, 4 team fouls on the Ponca Indians. Quickly inbound to Sam as she is drawing a double team at the moment. Sam goes up, her shot is whacked away by Leah Herbster, and Vermillion knows who to target now. Again, Samantha has all 15 points for the Ponca Indians. Janaea Cleveland. Bounce pass over to Brooklyn Voss, and Voss loses it for a moment. Leah Herbster, though, collects. Back to Janaea Cleveland, who's directing the traffic. Janaea, back to now Jensen. Kingsbury is shutting her down, and a pass and a foul going to be called on Kingsbury, picking up her second personal and the 5th team foul. 5:36 remaining here in the ball game. Vermillion has a 6-point lead, 34-28. A fake pass and drive. Jensen fouled as she went up for the shot. Everyone thought she handed it off to Casey Hansen, kept it herself, and attacked the hoop. And a foul that will go against Sam, picking up her second personal, the 6th team foul. 2 free throws for Jensen, and she's off the mark. Again, Brooke Jensen has not scored since the first quarter, someone who's averaging 25 points a ball game. 34-28, 5:33 fourth quarter. As the twinkle fingers come out in front of us, the second free throw is good. It's the first point for her. This second half, it's back up to a 7-point lead, 35-28. McAfee holding on to it. Bounce pass down to Sam, now cutting into Evans, and a foul called against Chandler Cleveland. Cleveland commits the 6th team foul. Cleveland picks up now her first personal. Next foul gives bonus to the Ponca Indians. Samantha inbounds it to Evans. They work it back to the top to Abby. Now jumper for for Ellers, and she's fouled once again. Free throws upcoming. The foul will go against Brooklyn Voss. Voss will pick up her 3rd personal, 7th team foul, so now bonus the rest of the way for the Ponca Indians. Free throw is up, and this one is good. Sam Ellers continues her tear, all 16 points in this second half for the Ponca Indians. 35-29. Second free throw is off the mark. It still remains a 6-point lead for the Vermillion Tanagers. As Casey Hansen with the rebound brings it in the front court, will attack in from in, but leaves her layup short. The Indians trying to cut it even lower. It's with McAfee over to Kingsbury. Kingsbury just holding on to it. Now down to Evans. Evans turn around. This one's off the mark. Rebounded by Casey Hansen. Again, Vermillion can bleed a lot of this clock, but they're quickly moving it. With now Roovers to Casey Hansen, who thought about shooting the 3. Again, no shot clock. So Vermillion, with 4:40 remaining in the ball game, can technically hold on for the rest of the game. Inbound, or I should say pass, from Roovers over to Casey Hansen. With that, Hansen now has 11 points in the ball game, and a timeout called by head coach John Brooks as Vermillion is back up by 8. Their biggest lead has been 11 points. Tonight's broadcast is brought to you by Farmers Union Insurance. Why choose Farmers Union Insurance? Well, they value what's important to you in your way of life. Whether you're a driver, homeowner, farmer, or business owner, let them show you how they can provide the protection you need. You can also find out more at farmersunioninsurance.com. Of course, tonight's broadcast is also brought to you by the Vermillion Boosters. Supporting Vermillion and the student athletes, the Vermillion Boosters are always giving back. Make sure you check out their online clothing orders and also their updated website of gotanagers.com, as they're constantly supporting the student athlete at Vermillion High School. We thank the Vermillion Boosters for everything they do for Vermillion High School, middle school, and elementary. Inbound to Abby, as again the Tanagers are back up by 8, 37-29 drive, and it looked like Abby might have lost the basketball, but a foul is called instead. It will go against the Tanagers. It's against Taylor Roovers, picking up her first personal, and again, this is bonus, so 1-1 for Abby upcoming. She could be the first Ponca Indian to score in the second half. That is not Sam Elders. The free throw is up, and finally, that ends a 16-0 run that Sam Elders was on by herself in this second half from the Ponca Indians. The second free throw is up, and this one is good as well, as it drops it back down to just a 6-point lead for Vermillion. 4:23. Quickly all the way up to Chandler Cleveland, who is alone as the press was all the way on, and it's an easy 2 points for the Vermillion Tanagers. Yes, you like them to bleed some of this clock, but when you can take advantage of it, might as well do it and get the points. 8-point lead, and now a ball down to the baseline, knocked out of bounds by Chandler Cleveland. 39-31, 4:06 fourth quarter. The Ponca Indians certainly not dead in the water yet. They're trying to dig into this 8-point deficit as a pass goes to Kingsbury. Tanagers there were both Clevelands who just put their hands up. Neither one of them was looking at the basketball, but somehow Vermillion gets the turnover. It's with Taylor Roovers over to Chandler Cleveland. Down underneath to Brooke Jensen, the block. She's double teamed. Back out to Roovers. Straight away three. This one off the mark as it's rebounded by Evans. Evans trying to push the tempo. Throws out the arm against Taylor. 39-31. 3:35. Fourth quarter. Down to Sam Ehlers. They back out to McAfee. McAfee's space, though, is cut off by Janaea Cleveland. Over to Abby as Abby tries to drive down to the corner. Kick it back out now to Kingsbury along the far side. Over to the near side, they work it once again with Abby. She'll drive in, and she quickly has the last 4 points for the Ponca Indians. 6 points for her in the ball game, and back to just a 6-point lead for Vermillion, 39-33. It doesn't always have to look pretty, as long as it's a win. And right now, Vermillion is trying to outlast the Ponca Indians as they give a valiant effort here in this fourth quarter. At the corner, it's Jensen to the block. Jumper, good. Brooke Jensen with that now has 9 points in the ball game. 41-33, and the press is on, and a timeout called by head coach Bob Hayes. Coach Bob Hayes wants a full timeout. We'll step aside. We're back in just a moment here on Live Ticket TV.
Farmers know crop insurance is essential for managing risk. It's also valuable for maximizing revenue. The crop insurance officers at Farm Credit Services of America have proprietary tools and expertise to deliver the personalized crop and revenue protection you need for the peace of mind you want. Nobody delivers crop insurance like this. Discover the difference by calling 800-884-FARM. Agriculture works here.
Birds like tanagers are great at flying out of the way to miss your car. Deer and other drivers are not. If you're in any kind of accident, bring your vehicle to Blaine's Body Shop in Vermillion. We repair your vehicle to pre-accident condition and handle the entire process from start to finish, including an accurate estimate and dealing with the insurance adjuster. So good luck to the tanagers, and if you're in an accident, bring your vehicle to
Blaine's Body Shop. Blaine's Body Shop. Automotive collision repair.
as the student section welcomes us back from Ponca High School. An 8-point lead for the Vermillion Tanagers. I go back to my pregame interview with head coach John Brooks. I said, if we could get to 50, do you think you could win? It looks like at this moment, if the Tanagers could get to that mark, they certainly would win. With 2:32 remaining in the ball game, the Indians are trying to make their comeback. Pass down to the block with Evans. Gets through a double team, then loses the basketball. Jump ball called. Possession arrow gives it to Vermillion. Vermillion makes a defensive stand, and now they're going to trade defense and offense as Rivers will check back in the ball game, and Voss will come out. Again, the full court press will be on by the Ponca Indians as Janaea Cleveland has it all the way up to Rivers. Rivers to Leah Herbster. Down into the lane with Jensen. Jensen goes it to Leah Herbster, and Herbster is able to finish inside. Leah Herbster now has 11 points in the ball game. She's tied with Casey Hansen for the leading scorer for Vermillion, and then Leah Herbster reaches in, knocks it away. 43-33, 2:01 remaining in the ball game. It looks like we could get close to that 50 piece, and Vermillion knocking off the 4th-ranked Ponca Indians. It would be the 3rd game in a row that Vermillion has knocked off the 4th seed. It is with Jensen all the way over to Taylor. Back to Casey Hansen. Again, with no shot clock, Vermillion can just hold the basketball at this point. They can force the Ponca Indians to foul, and now we're going to see head coach John Brooks call a timeout. We'll step aside, and when we come back, it's the conclusion from inside Ponca High School. That's on the way next here on a Live Ticket TV.
Let's be real. You work. You worry. You wait. You wonder. These are the challenges of life on the farm. As a community bank, First Bank & Trust understands this rural reality. They're big enough to help ag producers grow for the future and small enough to get to know you right now. Our ag bankers have ag backgrounds, which means we'll help you work through the tough years and make the most of the great ones. First Bank & Trust. Real banking, real easy.
This is what matters. This is beyond X's and O's. This is the difference mutual respect makes. This is what character looks like. This is what defines us in South Dakota. This is sportsmanship. School sports, it's not the outcome that matters most, but the way the games are played. This message presented by the South Dakota High School Activities Association and the South Dakota Interscholastic Athletic Administrators Association.
After the head coach timeout, a quick foul is given by the Ponca Indians. This is now the 7th team foul, and it will be Taylor to go shoot free throws. The smallest girl on the court by far will toe the free throw line, with Vermillion leading it by 10 currently, trying to finish this one off against the Ponca Indians. As the first free throw is up on the 1-and-1 and is off the mark. So the Ponca Indians will come back the opposite way, trying to chip away. Three-pointer deep from Kingsbury is off the mark, but it's their offensive rebound Sam Ellers can't connect with, and it's rebound by Janaea Cleveland. With now Brooke Jensen, and again Vermillion with 1:14 in the ball game is going to move to 6-0. Vermillion has accomplished a feat that's never been done at the high school for the girls basketball team of knocking off the 4th-ranked team 3 games in a row. They did it against West Central. At the time, it was receiving votes T area, but according to the media polls, which we had in front of us before that game went final, we knew that T was going to be ranked 4th. We just couldn't say it during the broadcast. We had to wait until 5 o'clock. Janaea Cleveland makes the first free throw, and now the Ponca Indians, according to some, have them at 4. Other media polls have them at 2, but nonetheless, for the main point, we call them number 4. And Janaea will hit the second one. She now has 6 points in the ball game. the spread scoring by the Vermillion Tanagers. And now a quick timeout from head coach Bob Hayes. It's up by 12, 106 remaining here in the ball game. What has just been absolutely exciting for the Vermillion girls. And the task does not get any easier, though, for Vermillion, as coming up tomorrow, they take on the Parkston Trojans. And I was talking to head coach John Brooks off our air of conversations not being recorded, but he doesn't mind me sharing this point. He said, I really love to see that Parkston game happen tonight, because then they're in the same boat as we are. Tired legs, being banged up, but that doesn't happen because of school not happening for the Parkston Trojans, so they don't play against Sioux Falls Christian. So now Parkston has this rest, and granted, Parkston has been dealing with snowstorms, so they haven't necessarily gotten practice, but at the end of the day, they are just high school kids. All they want to do is play basketball. So Vermillion is going to go in tomorrow night's contest with tired legs, and Parkston Trojans, no slouch of a team, 4-0 overall. They are receiving votes as well in Class A, so a very, very tough game coming up tomorrow, as again, Vermillion's going to move to 6-0. And as we had one of our sports writers from 605, Ryan Deal, said buy stock in Vermillion. Of course, we bought our stock in them before the season even started. It's with McAfee. Now the Indians, they do have to go quick, trailing by 12. They can't let this clock just wind down. Kingsbury into Evans. Abby will shoot the three, took a deflection on its way through, and will go out of bounds. But that right there wasted 18 seconds to get up a shot. Not good for the Ponca Indians. Inbound it to Sam. She falls on the court. Picked back up by Abby. Goes through the legs of Kingsbury. Back to Abby. They're going to let her drive. Put up the jumper. Misses everything. Rebounded by Vermillion. Janaea Cleveland to Casey Hansen. And the lightest foul you can probably give. Kingsbury's like, come here, Hansen. I'm going to give you a hug. I'm going to foul you. I don't even think she really won the foul at that point. I think she was just kind of going through the motions. And Kingsbury will pick up her third personal. The 9th team foul now on the Ponca Indians. The first free throw is good for Casey Hansen, who has been quiet, it seems like, so far this season. Has put up her best performance scoring-wise with 12 points. Give her 13 here in the ball game. 47-33, 30 seconds and ticking away. This is now the biggest lead for Vermillion and comes at the exact right time. Vermillion going to move to 6-0 on the season. As it's directing traffic right now, Kingsbury. Over to Abby, straight away three. This one's off the mark, right back to Kingsbury. Kingsbury drives, shot is off the mark, rebounded by Sam. She goes back up. She's going to be fouled, and she'll have a chance to make the old-fashioned three-point play. Sam Ellers, one hell of a performance from her in the ball game, as she now has 8 points in this fourth quarter. In total, 22, trying to make it 23 on the evening. Besides Abby's 5 points here in this fourth quarter, it's been all done by Sam, who now has 23 points in the ball game. 47-36, and the Ponca Indians not going to foul. Vermillion 6-0 on the season. They remain 2-0 inside Region 4, 4-0 inside the DAC 12 as they beat fourth-ranked Ponca Indians. 47-36 is your final, and for the first time in school history, Vermillion has knocked off the fourth-ranked team 3 games in a row by a final score again tonight here in Ponca, 47-36. Vermillion gets it done by a spread of offense from several different girls who are able to reach double figures. One of those not including Brooke Jensen. 47-36 is your final. We have plenty coming up here on the postgame show, including head coach John Brooks. We'll catch up with a player as well, your final game numbers, and more. That's all on the way next here on Live Ticket TV.
times like these, it's good to know there's a place where people know who you are, no matter how long you've been gone. A place where the smells of home cooking are still in the air, where a simple wave warms your heart, and sharing stories is just a way of life. It's good to be home. Agraria Insurance Company, protecting what's important in life. Contact your local Agraria Insurance Company agent.
Advertising can be a struggle. Where to spend your money? Are you reaching the right audience? If you are looking for an effective method that reaches a large fan base at once, then here is your spot with Live Ticket TV. With over 65 schools in the state of South Dakota, we can help you find the right market. Plus, you can work with me, Heath, and a portion of all sales made go right back to the school. Get a hold of me today and let's get started in helping build your brand with Live Ticket TV.
At Northern State University, your future starts with an affordable education that's personalized for you. Experience hands-on learning guided by world-class supportive faculty. You'll also enjoy a full campus life with opportunities to choose from numerous student activities and events, all in a safe, welcoming community. At Northern, you'll find a college that's right for you, a place to belong. Your future starts here. Unleash your potential at Northern.
For the first time in school history, Vermillion has put up back-to-back games of beating the fourth-ranked team. It all started with West Central just the other week of getting a victory 43-32. They beat T Area again at the time Monday afternoon. They were receiving votes. Some of us do have access to the polls, and going into that game, I think it was even before halftime, we knew that T Area was going to be fourth ranked. We just couldn't say it during the broadcast. We had to wait till 5 o'clock, but nonetheless beat T Area 62-34. And then tonight they continue their dominating performance. 47-36 is your final. And I draw back on this game over the years. It's the first time Vermillion has beat Ponca since 2018. It is the first regular season loss in 366 days for the Ponca Indians. This is a team that has had just 2 losing seasons in the last decade. They have been to the last 4 state tournaments. I can go on and on about how good this Ponca Indians team is. And again, you talk about what they brought back, 4 other 5 starters from a team that made it to the state tournament once again last year. Vermillion looked great once again. But I go back to our conversation with head coach John Brooks. I said, hey, we get to 50, do we win? He said, yeah, that seems like a good spot. Vermillion puts up 47. I asked him, all right, we know Brooke Jensen's good. Who's going to go out and get the points? He said, it's not about Brooke Jensen tonight. It's going to be about who else can score around that. And we saw it. 2 Tanagers once again hit double figures. One of them isn't Brooke Jensen, who still had a good performance, but really spread out. And again, 21 turnovers by the Ponca Indians really took them out of their scheme in that fourth quarter. And don't get me wrong, the Ponca Indians certainly gave a good run to Vermillion in the fourth quarter, but Vermillion was really able to shut down almost everybody besides Samantha Elders, who really had herself a big game, went off for 23 points in the ball game, including 19 in the second half, including all 10 points in that third quarter for the Ponca Indians, and then another 9 in that fourth quarter. In fact, Abby Ruda was the only other Ponca Indian to score in the second half. She got all 5 of her points in the fourth quarter. As I mentioned, Samantha went off for 23 points in the ball game. Ruda scored 7 points, otherwise just 3 points for Ashlyn Kingsbury. Grayson Evans, who averages 15 points a ball game, was held to just 2 points. And Ashley McAfee, who's averaging 8 points a ball game, was also just held to 2. Now you flip that around. What's even more impressive is Vermillion scoring and who it came from. Someone we've really been grinding on the past couple of weeks is Casey Hansen. When were we going to see where she picked up as a freshman last year? Well, we saw it tonight. She puts up 13 points, the leading scorer for the Vermillion Tanagers, followed by Leah Herbster. She has gotten herself in a lot of foul trouble the past 2 games against the Ponca Indians. She picked up 2 quick fouls in that first quarter, but after that was able to stay away from foul trouble. She finished with 11 points in the ballgame. And then Brooke Jensen, she started off great, 6 points in that first quarter, only adds another 3. She finishes with 9 in the evening, but then after that, plenty of more spread out scoring. Janaea Cleveland finishes with 6 points in the ball game, 3 points apiece for Chandler Cleveland, and also Taylor Roovers hitting a big 3, and then 2 points tonight from Claire Doty from the free throw line. So again, 7 different girls score for the Vermillion Tanagers as they now move to 6-0 on the season, getting a great victory over the Ponca Indians. 47-36 is your final. And again, another game that Vermillion led throughout and never surrendered the lead. It was one heck of a performance, and they just look like they're hitting on all cylinders. But again, have a huge test coming up tomorrow night. We'll talk more about that coming up here, on the postgame show as we await head coach John Brooks and also a player that will be joining us here on the postgame show. Tonight's broadcast is brought to you by Farm Credit Services of America. American Ag has grown to become the largest, most efficient, and productive food system in the world, but it remains a business of people. In everything they do, they work to become Ag's most valued financial partner. Find out how they are there for the farmer and to help you grow at fcsamerica.com. Tonight's broadcast is also brought to you by the Vermillion Boosters, supporting Vermillion and the student athletes. The Vermillion Boosters are always giving back. Check out online clothing orders with a portion of sales going back to the students. You can find out how to become a member or shop online today at the newly updated GoTanagers.com. Well, step aside. We have plenty more coming up here on the postgame show. That's on the way next here on Live Ticket TV. There's no better organization that gives back to the student athletes than the Booster Club. The Vermillion Booster Club is committed to helping all student athletes grow. Join the Tanager faithful today by becoming a member at GoTanagers.com. While you're there, check out team apparel for your favorite sports team. Like them on Facebook to stay up to date on all the latest information and sports games. Join the Vermillion Boosters today and go Tanagers.
Agriculture is like no other business, which makes Farm Credit Services of America like no other lender. Owned by the farmers and ranchers we serve, our customers have a voice in how we work, a stake in what we do, and share in our success. Discover a lender that works for you at Farm Credit Services of America.
Hi, this is Kristen Cunningham with Chic Boutique by Kristen & Company in Centerville, South Dakota. We're an all-size inclusive boutique offering sizes small through 3X on many items, including denim jeans and jackets, shackets, pants, skirts, graphic tees and sweatshirts, joggers, school swag, hats and caps, many fashion accessories including purses and lots of jewelry. And we also offer gift items for birthdays and weddings. Get your shopping fix at 636 Broadway Street, Centerville, South Dakota. Open Tuesday through Friday, 10 to 7, and Saturday, 10 to 4.
Let's be real. You work. You worry. You wait. You wonder. These are the challenges of life on the farm. As a community bank, First Bank and Trust understands this rural reality. We're big enough to help ag producers grow for the future and small enough to get to know you right now. Our ag bankers have ag backgrounds, which means we'll help you work through the tough years and make the most of the great ones. First Bank and Trust. Real banking, real easy. Member FDIC, Equal Opportunity Lender.
In times like these,
well, Vermillion continues this hot streak to start the season. Coach John Brooks was modest when I asked him to open up the season. Where's this team at? Who are they going to be? What is the identity of this team? Can they make a run? And so far we have seen it. They've been off to a 6-0 start, again receiving votes according to the media, and the way they just continue to beat up on ranked teams. If Vermillion can get a win tomorrow night, which is going to be no easy task against the Parkston Trojans, there's a good chance they'll be inside the top 5, but again, have to take care of business. Coach Brooks mentioned that we were going to catch up with Brooklyn Voss here on the postgame show. Now, I know Brooklyn, she's extremely shy, so we'll see if she actually is able to come over here and join us or not. But Vermillion, what a great victory for them in just continuing to build. And again, it was spread out scoring across the board as Casey Hansen led the way with 13 points, 11 points dished in by Leah Herbster, and Brooke Jensen, who's averaging 25 points so far this season, only had 9 points. But again, it beat a great Ponca Indians team. And if you care at all, this is a state of Nebraska that runs a little bit ahead of schedule of everything that goes on with them. So you give it about a month's time, it's actually almost time for them to get into postseason, and certainly Ponca Indians will be back in the state tournament once again, and it's going to be exciting to see what they can do. Again, you talk about 36 points for them tonight. That's right around a little below their season average, but still very impressive for what they're able to do. And again, Coach Bob Hayes, I mean, you talk about a coach that has over 500 wins so far underneath his belt in his coaching career. It's a guy that knows how to win. He knows how to grind it out. And you expect to see that with his crew coming up once again throughout the rest of this season. Once again, coming up tomorrow, we will have full coverage of the Parkston Trojans back at the Birdcage, as we'll have girls and boys. Of course, girls set to play first. That game is set to tip off at 6:30. Of course, if things run ahead of schedule, pregame show begin right around 6, maybe a little bit beforehand as well. Kind of have to see how that goes. But we'll have all the coverage right there. And then, as we mentioned, apologize to head coach Gary Culver of the wrestling team. Every time we're on the dock to do a little bit of wrestling, we have not been able to do that yet this year just because of all these snowstorms. But I know we do have some wrestling that is coming up later on here with Live Ticket TV. And then, as I mentioned, before you know it, you're going to snap your fingers. It's going to be time for the track season. We'll have coverage for you there. We'll also have coverage of the softball and then baseball before we know it. But Vermillion Tanagers, they get the win 47-36 as we await head coach John Brooks to talk about the success of his team and just continuing to build and moving forward. Tonight's broadcast is brought to you by First Bank and Trust. Enjoy the convenience of digital banking from anywhere, including fast and secure mobile and online options. Customized features let you streamline banking tasks across all platforms, even other financial institutions. Banking has never been easier with First Bank and Trust. Tonight's broadcast also brought to you by Blaine's Body Shop. Blaine's has expanded now with more room than ever before. Blaine's is your trusted source for auto body repair, minor dents and scratches to full restorations. Blaine's can take care of it all, even the insurance. If you need body work done with your car, take it to Blaine's Body Shop. By the way, the new and updated ticker for SD Scores, as you've seen it scroll through the bottom of your broadcast throughout the night. Kind of cool, gives you that vibe of ESPN. Let's be honest, it's a little bit easier to read as well, instead of just one big old scrolling and no definition of whether that was a boys or a girls game. But going off that, as you'll see, it's a lot of games that kind of keep repeating, as again, a lot of games were postponed once again. A lot of in the Mitchell area as they continue to struggle with more and more snow as games continue to get pushed back more and more. And again, you talk about the Parkston Trojans as they have yet to get into really their season so far. Only 4 games, but look forward to receiving votes. Vermillion Tanagers taking on receiving votes. The Parkston Trojans coming up in girls action. And then the Vermillion boys just looking to bounce back after their very tough defeat against the T-Area Titans. Were not able to get a lot of their offense going. They'll look to get that corrected tomorrow evening against the Parkston Trojans. As again, we await our conversation with head coach John Brooks here on the post-game show as we kind of transition over. Again, Vermillion gets the win over the Ponca Indians by the final score 47-36. Brooklyn Voss never came over here. She's now within the gym. She wants to. I know she's extremely shy. She's just giving me that look right now. She got caught by head coach John Brooks. That's what happened. She got caught by head coach John Brooks as Brooklyn Voss is going to come over, join us on the post-game show, and then John Brooks is to come up. Don't worry, Brooklyn. It won't be too tough there. We'll get you the headset on. And again, Vermillion getting that win, 47-36 is your final. All right, Brooklyn Voss joining us here on the post-game show. Brooklyn, before we talk about tonight's game and even where the success you've had this season, for you it really goes back to this summer where you got yourself in the gym, you played a part of the traveling teams. Where'd that all come about, and how did you find success during the summer season?
I don't know. My Brooke and Casey also did travel, and I thought that was pretty cool, so I wanted to do it as well. I was gonna do, I have done travel ball before this, yeah, I don't know.
It just kind of gotten into it, and you had a lot of success during the summer, and then coming into it as well. Let's go back to the fall season. Is basketball the true love for you, or is it maybe volleyball as you continue to expand during this fall season?
I don't know. I like them both a lot. I'm also doing travel volleyball at the same place I did basketball at, so I don't know. I love them both. I can't choose, honestly.
Well, it's been exciting to watch you so far this season, and then coming into it as well. You've kind of had this role that you're so talented, yet you found yourself sometimes coming off the bench, sometimes being a starter. How has it been just accepting the role, whatever it is from Coach Brooks, and getting it done with your team?
Honestly, our team is just pretty, everyone can do anything, so no one has to do one certain thing. We all know our own role and stuff like that, so we just go out there and play.
You've been a part of now Coach Brooks beating West Central for the first time. You guys dominated over the Titans on Monday. You beat 4th-ranked Ponca Indians. What's the feeling right now with the girls?
I think that we're all really excited about the 2 wins this week. Obviously, we've never beat West Central, so that was really cool. We're feeling pretty good, but we still have another one tomorrow, so we still got to go.
What are you having for supper tonight to recovery and get ready for Parkston right away?
Oh, I don't know. Probably Jimmy John's.
There you go. Nothing wrong with that. Brooklyn, always appreciate it.
Thank you.
Brooklyn Voss here on the post-game show as she joins us, getting some Jimmy John's in her again as the Vermillion Tanagers have to make that quick transition as they get ready for the Parkston Trojans, as now joined with head coach John Brooks. Coach Brooks, I asked you the dead-on question. I said, when it comes to the Ponca Indians, if you can get to 50 points tonight, you have to feel comfortable of winning the basketball game. You get to 47, 3 off. How did that feel getting the win over Ponca?
Yeah, obviously they're a really good team, and it's scary playing a team when they're that talented and that well coached. I got a ton of respect for what Coach Hayes does and the way they play. You just know that if you make mistakes against them, they're going to make you pay. So not the most explosive offensive game, but I thought we were solid in pretty much every aspect of the game. I thought we defended really well, obviously rebounded well, made some timely shots, shot free throws well, just kind of put everything together tonight, and you have to do that in order to beat a team like Ponca.
I know for this game tonight you were able to kind of build a lead going into that second half, but what else was it about the second half that really you took apart their offense that was going to grind it out, look for the right shot? They really weren't able to set up much in that second half. What did you do at halftime to take them out of it?
Well, it started with the pressure. We wanted to pressure their guards to make sure that they weren't getting into offense easily, and then they were kind of running some too high stuff with their bigs and crossing them in the paint that were giving us a little trouble there in the first half. So just kind of walked through some stuff. I got a lot of input from the girls. I think that's the nice thing about our team is we're trying to ask the girls what are they seeing out there, and we put together and kind of figured out how we were going to cover up their post players inside, and I thought our girls did a really good job with that. And then rebounding, got some transition buckets, and then free throws were big for us in the second half. So kind of put it all together there.
Well, you continue to put together now 6-0 on the season. I also asked you one other thing. I feel like I'm starting to read your mind more and more as we've been together for quite some time. I said at the last question for you of the day was who steps up, who has a great performance besides Brooke Jensen. You said this is going to be a team performance. You have Leah Herbster and Casey Hansen who both hit double figures tonight. What is it about this team that just continues to be, unforgiving when it gives the ball? They always want others to score. What's it been like coaching that?
Yeah, and we told them that we had to be really unselfish tonight because Ponca does a really good job is when you penetrate or throw the ball in the post, they double you hard. And you got to be looking for teammates, and those kids got to be ready to catch and shoot it. And I thought we were really balanced, and I haven't seen the final stats, but I know Leah, Brooke, Casey, those girls made some big buckets, and everybody else stepped up and made some shots as well. So Ellers went off for them. But we were able to keep Evans and Kingsbury in check tonight, and that was a big thing for our defense as well.
Tell me if you recognize this. Oakley, Zebar, Hahn, and Oakley all back for the Parkston Trojans, a team that is 4-0. You and I kind of joked off air earlier this afternoon that, man, you really wish they could have played. How worried are you about the recovery process, especially it now being this late in the evening?
Yeah, our girls got to get some sleep tonight. They got to get home and another full day of school for them, and, get back to the swing of school and all that stuff. And but you got to step on the floor and be ready. Parkston's going to be ready to play. I think they probably got their game canceled tonight, so they're going to be very excited to get back on the floor. Their legs are going to be fresh. And you just can't have any excuses. Anytime you step on the floor, you got to be ready to compete, and we'll get the girls there and ready to go tomorrow.
And how do you scout for this Parkston team, a team that has played once over the Christmas break in the Parkston Classic against a great ranked Centerville team? Otherwise, they really haven't played since before the holiday break. I mean, do you spend much time scouting, or just focus on yourself?
We got a couple films on them, and we're going to go through some scouting report stuff after school, and as a coaching staff, we'll try to get our game plan put together. And obviously, we don't get to walk through a lot of things. We won't get to walk through it. It's going to be just us showing the girls and talking our way through it. And a lot of times in games like this, where you don't have a lot of time, it's just go out and execute your stuff, and that'll probably be a big message for tomorrow.
Brooklyn Voss is getting Jimmy John's. What are you having for supper?
Oh, man, whatever I can scrounge up in the fridge. Probably like a peanut butter sandwich or something.
You know what? That doesn't sound too bad. Coach Brooks, always appreciate the time.
All right, thanks, Heath.
There he is, head coach John Brooks here on the postgame show. As again, Vermillion advances to 6-0 on the season. They remain 2-0 inside the region. And again, what has been so impressive about this run for the Vermillion girls is they are 4-0 inside the DAC 12. I mentioned it earlier. You get 7-8 wins in the DAC 12, you're in a really good spot already. 6 games into the season, 4 wins coming from the DAC 12. Very impressive what the Vermillion girls have been able to accomplish so far this season. As we say goodnight, we say get ready for tomorrow. Less than 24 hours, we're back once again. We'll have all the coverage right here on Live Ticket TV of Vermillion taking on the Parkston Trojans. In less than 24 hours, until then, have yourself a wonderful rest of your evening.